Oh.
He's too fucking busy.
Ugh.
Well, I told him that he's like, well, I can't like devote more time to it until I like get more passive income from doing it. And I was like, what will get you more passive income from doing it? And he's like, don't fucking say doing them. I was like, doing your commissions.
What do you think was gonna? What do you think he was gonna say, Sign? What else would he come up with? You stupid shit.
Oh. Fucking hell.
Fucking
why is he
dipshit
working on
ass.
the oldest commissions first as well? Like, he's releasing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's releasing newer ones before the older ones.
He is. So, here's the thing about being an author. You get lower quality when you force a chapter out.
Yeah, but by now he should have either forced the chapter out or refunded the commissioner.
Yes. Yes. You aren't.
Hell, he's the author. Just write the end. End the story. Done.
Just write the end.
Listen, man, it's worked out for several Shonen Jump series where we're leading up to the big climax, and the next chapter is suddenly, all right, bye, the end. It works. Just say it got canceled.
He's the author. Who's gonna stop him?
Hey, listen, the ratings took a hit.
Yeah,
What's that?
I spoke with my...
What's that? They commissioned 2,000 words? Alright, here's the end, written 2,000 times.
I spoke with my PR team, and they recommended that we shut down this story for now.
There will be no refunds.
It's all going to the yacht.
God, that shit show has been glorious to watch play out.
It's been so fucking hilarious. It is. I'm assuming Max has been getting third-party absorption from it.
Which show is this?
Talking to
Doki.
Doki's selling from Niji, and Niji's
Oh,
reprinting.
yeah, no, listen.
Yeah, with the Selen.
And how it just keeps getting.
Yeah.
So, literally yesterday, someone tried to come out. Yeah.
Sneaky, let me share an image with you, and you can share this with whoever you want. It's definitely safe, but we were having a discussion about it, and I mentioned that it's been interesting watching Cover and VShojo learn a very important lesson after the last 3 to 4 years of bullshit they've committed. It's an age-old bit of wisdom that my dad gave me, that his father gave him, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Take care of your employees, and they'll take care of you.
No, yeah, obviously.
The kind of amusing is that
they've done a fantastic job of learning this. So in response to me saying this, my friend sent me this image.
Oh no.
Which is a repurposed meme.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm concerned.
Oh, let's see this image.
Is... Oh.
What's up? Come on, share with the family, share with the class.
It perfectly sums up the entire 30-minute conversation we had of like Nichi Sanji is a bunch of fuck ups. I'm like, this is not how the meme is used, but it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect.
I was actually talking to a friend. There's some people I know
Truly
about this whole drama and like how Cover Corp has done like for all intents and purposes, Cover Corp has had no real drama outside like
their biggest drama was
Rushia and Coco.
Yeah, but like their biggest normal drama is like, oh, why hasn't this person got a 3D model yet? And Cover Corp lied about why. That was the biggest drama. Yeah, so the reason why HoloLive EN never got 3D models until like way fucking later than they should have, because previously Cover would invest resources and would personally cover the creation of a 3D model asset for the VTuber and would not make the VTuber buy it themselves.
Yeah.
But they would only do this once the VTuber hit around 1 million subscribers, because it's like, well, you actually have to be worth it for us to,
that's fairly reasonable. That's
which, you know what? Fine. That's a fair thing to say.
But also, they didn't stop their VTubers from paying for their own stuff. That's why you saw some of them have the hand stuff, and like if they went out and paid for it, they were like, all right, fine. But
yeah,
you know, they were like, well, at your real 3D debut cannot be until we greenlight it and you do it in the studio, and we have the whole rigmarole, idle thing about it.
And you know what? That's fine, because at least then they're like, we will pay for this. You just need to hit point X.
Yeah.
No, you can't do it before then.
Why there was a bunch of drama around it, because all of EN rapidly hit 1 million, because, well, did you guys know that America is a little bit bigger than Japan?
Did you know that there's a lot of lonely bastards out there?
Yeah.
I mean...
Did you know that parasocial relationships are easy to make?
Yeah, so it turns out that having a bunch of VTubers speak English is really good for numbers. Shocking.
Like, I mean, shit. The fact that it took them that long, like, the amount of, like, people doing English clips.
Well, the thing is that Cover was just like, well, I mean, fucking Coco had to fight tooth and nail to convince the stupid Japs that, non-Japanese people might actually have some sort of value to them.
Yeah.
Bless Coco.
And Niji is quite learning the hard way to not anger that group.
You would think they would have learned back in 1946, but, I guess history makes you forget.
Woo, Sneaky, woo.
Listen, two songs may not have been enough.
It could have been worse. He could have made the skincare joke again.
Oh. Whoa, hold on, no. I
was
didn't
Google.
make
That
the
was
skincare
Google.
joke.
That was
Google
Google.
made the skincare joke.
I remember that clip.
And
Google did that.
you
He is
love
innocent.
to run with it
Oh,
every
it's
time.
a fucking great joke!
I wonder if they ever fixed that.
You know what? That's a good question. Let me, let's see, Google. Google, speak to us,
Oh,
Google.
boy.
Google.com. What did I type in? Fire bombing of Tokyo?
I think something along that line.
I don't remember what it was.
Something like that.
Yes, they did in fact fix it so it no longer says, did you mean skincare? Yeah, they did fix it.
Good, that's just...
Oh,
that is a
glorious.
fucking top question. Jesus Christ.
Wait, what?
Holy
What is
fuck.
the top question?
So, you know how when you type a question into Google or something into Google and it'll be like,
yeah, you start
people
typing,
also ask...
why does my... And then
no,
you just put it in
like,
Mankind.
no, like you submit it. And then Google says, well, people have also asked the following. Were you interested in these? One of the questions of people also asked is, in what month did the firebombing of Tokyo occur, killing 1,300,000 Japanese civilians?
That is a very specific question.
Well,
Note, we bombed them from April to March.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, the reason they Googled that, for those of you that aren't up on your history, is because we didn't do it once, we didn't do it twice, we did it many times.
Sorry, let me rephrase. April of 1942 to March of 1945.
Yes.
It's well, yeah, it's like the London Blitz. How long did the London Blitz last?
We bombed them a lot. But yeah.
Yeah. The London Blitz was from September of 1940 to the 11th of May 41.
Yeah, yeah. So
like nearly a year's worth of bombing.
Yeah. But anyway, so point being is that retro back to VTubing. So fast forward,
Actually,
we knew twice VTubing happened.
Was it Niji Sanji or was it a different VTuber company? One of their VTubers, they wouldn't accept a body pillow Dakimakura for their VTuber, so the VTuber commissioned their own and gave it away in a giveaway.
That sounds
I
like
don't know.
something in Niji,
Well, it's like
I don't know.
I think one of my favorite
I'm not
things.
sure. That probably Neji. The thing is that Gura didn't get a Daki for so long because Gura submitted her Daki ideas, and management came back and said, Gura, we can't sell that like this.
Gura, it needs clothes.
Gura,
you look
like a child.
That's
can't
literally
sell
what
this.
they told her, and she was like, "I'm not even safe for Japan."
Well, it's like
that is hilarious.
I think one of my favorites was the clip of Coco talking about trying to make the tail plushie.
Yes.
Oh, good lord.
Oh yeah, they came back with a full rubber.
Yeah.
They came back with an actual like sex toy. It's like, no, guys, it needs to look like it. It shouldn't be one.
Right. It had the butt plug.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like it had the actual like whole shebang, and it's just like, no, guys, you can't. I can't sell this. And then they were like, what do you mean? You can totally sell this. It's totally safe. Everyone will love it. And she's like, no, management won't let me sell this.
Yeah. So
again, my favorite part about that is Coco was like, oh yeah, I'll sell my fans a butt plug, but management won't let me.
Yeah. But well, I mean, her joke was that she fucking sold cocaine, so you know. Anyway, point being though is, you know, that's Cover's biggest drama is that they lied about the reason why they weren't giving Hollow EN 3D debuts.
Yes.
They kept saying, oh, well, it's not ready, oh, it's not time yet, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, Gura's hit like 4 million subscribers. She is the most popular VTuber in the world. Why doesn't she have a 3D model yet? Oh, it's not time yet. It's like, everyone's like, okay, Cover, it's also been now 3 years. Why doesn't she have a 3D model yet? Oh, well, reasons. It's just, it never came up. And then finally, all the girls talked about how they were going to Japan. And, oh, would you look at that? They all debuted in 3D there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, obviously, you just tell us the fucking truth. They're not in Japan, and we don't have a studio for them, so they're not debuting. Don't fucking lie. But now, on the other hand, we have Niji Sanji over here, who, wow, they broke so many laws.
Whoo! My favorite part. It's not like they broke American employment laws. They broke Japanese employment laws. Do you have any idea how friendly Japanese employment law is to the employer?
Very, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually shocked to learn that they broke the laws in 2 countries.
Oh, actually, they broke the laws in more than 2, actually, because Vox doesn't live in Canada.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
where does Fox live?
He's British.
Oh no! Oh no! You broke! You're
broke
gonna learn
British law.
You're about to learn what hostile employment law looks like, ladies and gentlemen.
And to make it even worse, because it's international, it's being tried by the international court, which the U.S. has precedent for.
Uh-oh. Oh wait, no, hang on. They might be. Oh no, hang on. They might be okay then. There's a lot of employer protection in the U.S.
Hold on.
There is,
hold on.
But there isn't protection. Actually, there's a significant amount of employee protection versus the company. When the company leaks your medical documents to people who are not your immediate family, and leaks your legal documents of ongoing court cases to people who are not the legal team.
On the other hand, it's Britain, so if they just throw something like, hey, this Tory Gate survived both nukes, here you go for your British Museum.
This Tory Gate survived. So see, the funny thing is, actually, there is a guy who survived both nukes.
I know.
He
went
lived
to
in the
work,
first
went
city.
home.
No, he lived in the first city. It blew up. He moved to the second city. It blew up.
Wait, I thought he lived in the first one, then he went to work in the second, and then he went back home.
There's probably a couple, actually, you know what, but it's like, this one guy was like, yeah, I was playing chess in this one city, and it blew up, so I moved to the other one and started playing chess there, and then that one blew up.
Oh.
But yeah, no, they fucking broke like. I think 4chan currently has it at something like 40 different infractions of the law.
Jesus fucking Christ! I kind of lost track of all the shit they did.
And they're at minimum could be held liable for at least like $250K in just pure compensation from unclaimed business expenses.
Business expenses.
Yeah, because they made Selen pay to host. So basically, like when Selen hosted tournaments and shit, Niji got paid, but she had to pay to host it. They didn't cover it despite being sponsored.
Oh no!
On top of several artists coming forward and saying she paid us out of pocket because management would not make the payments despite having an agreement.
Like
I mean,
now
she
we've
would
also
get
got
no. Hang on. So, her making the payments out of pocket probably won't get refunded because technically she didn't have to do that.
She technically did not have to do a lot of those payments, no. However, Canadian law is pretty flexible in what's termed as a business expense.
I know, but my point is just because her business wouldn't pay for it doesn't mean she needed to. She paid the artist because she thought that was the right thing.
Yes, but it was an expense that she was paying on behalf of generating business for her business.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, that would count as an expense, at least, like here.
Now they can arbitrate how much they are going to cover. Like if they can, like after this ruling is done, they could come forward and be like, well, actually, she was only given a budget of $20K and she spent $40K. We're only going to compensate her $20K. They can then do that, but they do.
Do they need evidence?
Yeah. I feel like that would have been mentioned.
You then demand the receipts where they told her this is your budget.
Yeah.
Well, and they won't have that, but
they would have said if, like, considering Alira and the others basically came out just trying shit talk her with like only one screenshot of some random manager saying no to her.
Yeah, it's one screenshot of everything being blanked out and redacted. Believe us, guys, even though these are like 7 different screenshots of chat messages that we've put together into one picture, totally believe us that these are unedited.
Words naturally have those. Words naturally have those black lines through them. Trust us.
Yeah.
It's like they pull out shit. Vox admits to being showed a legal document that was supposed to be only between Doki, her lawyer, and presumably Niji's lawyers.
Yeah, and
so they showed him that.
Yeah.
And so Vox is a fucking scumbag. More news at 11.
Yeah, it was shocking. Vox is a scumbag. Yeah, we all knew that.
So Doki had to confirm now that other medical documents weren't leaked, and the only thing that was leaked, or at least shown, was the whole suicide in hospital trick that she confirmed.
But
still,
so someone recently, yesterday, someone posted about how that they're expecting, because a bunch of the VTubers who chase drama, like VShojo, have not posted at all about this, and a bunch of the indie ones.
I actually know something about this a bit.
All right,
so Connor.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
No.
So Connor is close to Iron Mouse and stuff. Yeah, those guys are actually set in Japan. So they can't say shit because the defamation laws are a lot different.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So I'm not sure how much people know, but he explained is that in Japan, saying anything bad about anybody is considered defamation as long as they can prove malice.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how truthful what you're saying is. If it makes them look bad, you can get sued.
Yeah.
So they can't say shit.
Yeah. Okay.
And if VShojo's in Japan.
Well, not all of VShojo's in Japan. A significant portion of VShojo's in America.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why they haven't said anything, but just, like I know groups like Connor and stuff, they're in Japan, apparently his group is owned by Kadokawa, which is a Japanese corporation. So
that would do it.
I was looking at the comments for that. I can actually pull up the video if you want.
Katakawa's got a VTuber.
But my point being
I can pull up the
is
video for you.
the likely reason is why none of these people are speaking out is because Niji's a big company and they have contacts with all the people that the VTubers tend to either get A, employed by, or B, get sponsored by. And
I'd like
so,
to think it's also because these shoujos learned their lesson after the last 2 times they.
You would think, but there's always opportunities for more mistakes.
I know.
No.
But anyway,
I'm pretty sure
that's at least why
just
Connor and his group aren't saying shit. I don't know why V-Shoujo, but they're just being quiet.
But anyway, so point being, is that there's a big risk of basically tarring your reputation and maligning a large company that can fuck you over, and by Japanese standards would absolutely eagerly fuck you over just because they can. Now, there's this whole 4chan post about how they're going to come out soon with like this concentrated attack on Doki. And what do you know, today, someone posts this big old gotcha thread on Doki. Except I read through it.
Community noted too.
It was fucking fanfiction. It was
Wait, was it?
It was all fan fiction. I fucking read a majority. At one point, they're like, number 3 reason. Solen says she's made 200k in profits. But how could she lose 200k in profits if she didn't first make it under Niji? I'm like, you fucking shit brain. That's not what profit means.
Didn't she just say that, like, she made 200k, but she didn't have any profit from it?
Yeah, Doki came and said, I looked at my expenses, and I made like 200k, but I made 0 profit. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Yeah, like my revenue for the year was 200,000. My profit was nothing. Yeah. Because people,
And so she went on for like 5 fucking paragraphs not understanding what profit was, and was like holding this up as the crown gotcha moment. And it's like, you fucking shit brain, you don't know what economics are.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I wish I could say that was unique, but the amount of people who don't understand the difference between profit and revenue and income,
I know
it's a lot. It's a lot, because every time people like, companies can take this hit because they make this much revenue, it's like, it's not the revenue you need to worry about, man. That's not what determines how much they can cut certain things
also
back
people
on.
like, oh well, this person has so much money in liquid assets, can't they just sell some to pay a higher tax rate? And it's like, you fucking shit brain. If they sold the asset, it would be worth less, which means they just sold an asset to pay tax on something they no longer have.
Yes.
And now they owe extra tax after that transaction.
Yeah, now they owe tax on top of that because that was a transaction of net gain.
And this is why taxation should be stopped.
Oh, I mean, yes, obviously, but I was more using it as the point as to why people should just shut the fuck up if they don't know what 2 + 2 equals.
Fish.
Doesn't it equal fish?
No.
So, most citizens.
So anyway, so this big fucking threat. So, you know what, actually? Screw it. We're gonna cover this.
You know what? It's fanfiction.
No, you're gonna get sued.
It's fucking fanfiction. Oh, no. Let's go, boys.
Wait, can you look?
Nikki, no, you're gonna get sued.
Can you do? Can you do
guys,
Twitter fanfiction?
Guys,
yeah,
I can't wait for
it,
for this to be the thing that makes Sneaky blow up.
If only. If someone fucking came in here and was like, yo, this guy is pro Doki. Bitchin'.
This is how you catapult yourself into the sphere. You suddenly become a fan of Doki's, and everyone's like, oh, this guy talked good about Doki, and then you somehow get onto his stream with Doki. Fucking catapult your career to the stars.
I couldn't get on a stream with Doki simply because I'm dog shit at Apex. Which, I mean, considering I watched our last Apex game, maybe we are in the same bracket.
Sneaky, I'm asking this like as a serious thing.
Yeah.
Could you make sure to have me in there so we can keep you in check?
No.
By the Emperor, you gotta have one of us.
You need
you gotta have one of us, and you gotta be on
like guys. We'll make it a triple crossover. I'll invite Pippa.
No. No.
Oh no.
We'll
Sneaky-
definitely be
Sneaky-
very solid and stable, that one.
Sneaky,
That
if
is
this finally
filled with several lies.
Sneaky,
Did
if
you
this
know that the
catapults you-
FBI steals your information? Interesting. Tell me more, Pippa.
Sneaky, if
I
this
know.
catapults you into fame, does that mean you'll finally be able to pay Adnan and Nose for this stream?
I will
You
never pay
mean
nose.
Max?
Oh, Max, sorry. Listen, I
You
am
know
not
what?
drunk enough to have a working
You're
brain.
getting disconnected. No, you're getting disconnected just for that. Be gone.
Actually, you know what?
I'm
He
having
does
that
bring up a
shit.
good point. I should continue to pay you in yen so you can buy stock and cover.
No, I
The
prefer
Australian has been sent
to
to the Shadow
short
Realm.
Ninja Sanji.
Fair.
Well, actually, listen, if you've been offering to pay me in yen like a week ago, I'd be shorting Nichi Sanji.
That's true.
I can't listen. There's no point in shorting a ship that's already sunk.
You can point and laugh at least.
Actually, you can keep shorting it because you know what it's been doing for the past 12 days?
Continuing to
Drop.
drop.
Continuing to
Dropping.
drop.
I think the last recorded measurement was it was dropped like 20%.
Back-
Yeah.
Oh shit! They reached the 20% mark.
Yeah. Let me
Yes.
bring up the Anycolor
Oh.
stock price.
Oh,
That-
God.
I think what makes it hilarious is that Riku, the head of Niji, came on and like did the whole bow-towing shit, and it's still going down. It's
Yeah,
like,
so here's
they
the
had-
3-month
Oh.
point.
Wait,
That
hang
first
on,
dip is
hang
Palmu leaving.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, but they
on
did
the
recover
rainfall.
from that.
They did
Yeah,
recover
they
and
from that.
Ellen.
Yeah, now that's
And-
selling.
and
What's
it's
that
selling
little
drums.
spike on the 24th? Did one of them say something particularly spicy?
Merch drop.
Ah,
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, that would do it.
But yeah, so as you can see, they are not doing too great.
this, ladies and gentlemen, is something I would describe as a downward trend.
Yeah, yeah,
Looks like
so
it's
they
slowly
haven't
recovering.
hit yeah, they are slowly recovering, but you got to keep in mind that's because Anycolor is actually currently doing a massive stock buyback,
Mm.
which
So,
is why they started recovering after Palmu.
Artificially inflating those numbers.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, it's not necessarily okay. Yes, it is artificially inflating the numbers. It's not necessarily anything nefarious. It may simply be that they see that the stock is low and therefore they have an opportunity to buy it back.
True, yeah. But
Yes, but it was done in reaction to their stock dropping.
Yes.
It wasn't like they were planning on it like before the stock started dropping. They came out with like a day after the stock started dropping, like they're going to do a massive buyback.
I see.
and it is continuing to drop.
Yeah, so
I
they
saw
pretty much
someone-
lost an entire month of gains, and hopefully we can
Ooh.
make that more.
Oh, well,
let's just hope they do
don't worry.
something
It'll
stupid.
definitely be more.
What was that?
Someone made an interesting point though about the quote unquote non-apology video that they put out on their official channel.
Which was purely
that one.
for the investors. Yeah.
Yeah, they pointed out that the CEO looked incredibly angry.
Oh, that's because the CEO
Uh,
is actually a massive racist and hates English-speaking people.
Yeah, but they made an interesting point that like if this was a Western corporation, the CEO would be that angry not because his company was found out doing something. It's because this would be one of the first times he's hearing about it, and I'm about to start firing half my staff for letting this happen.
Yes, more or less, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just want to take one a minute to complaint.
Yeah,
So today,
yeah,
the head of the Embracer Group
yeah.
put out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, this statement made me livid.
Oh wait, did they
Happened.
put out a new statement?
Yes. So Max,
Oh,
layoffs are something people just have to get through.
Oh
This
no.
coming from the
Oh.
man. This coming from the man responsible for what's the count at now, Sneaky? 300 something people being unemployed?
What, from Embracer?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like, from
Embracer-
all the studios they
no,
shut
no,
down.
No, Embracer is currently sitting at 1,500.
Oh.
Embracer's the company that laid off 1,400 jobs and said we will always maximize for shareholders.
Yeah. Yep.
They said the silent part out loud.
Yeah, so like what's baffling is about game companies. It's like, yeah, we want to make money as a game. It's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, if you come up with a really cool game, I'll certainly pay you for it because, you know, you spent time, I spent time, we all spent time. Time's the most valuable currency, you know, bing bang boom, right? Fair. These fucking companies come in and they're like, we're gonna buy you. It's like, okay, now produce a good game. Yeah, okay, we're gonna need about 5 years. No, produce a good game now. We need about 4 years. No, produce a good game now, or we're firing half of you. By the way, if you give us 2 years, we can produce a game.
No.
Fine, do it. Also, if it doesn't make X amount of money, you're all fired.
Yeah, listen, the whole thing is absolutely nonsensical. But my favorite part about this is we will always maximize for shareholder value. In that same meeting, he admits that the group overinvested and bought too many studios, which is why they had to close so many studios. And my response to that is, how dare you fucking sit there and say that layoffs are something people just have to get through, except not you and the entire senior executive staff who presumably caused this entire fucking boondoggle.
Yeah.
Oh, you expect the people responsible to take responsibility?
No. Sign. I understand how things work. I don't expect them to take responsibility. What angers me is the gall and tone deafness of the statement, especially because, like, right, the whole point of CEOs make, you know, the millions and the billions all because they make the big decisions, they take the big risks. No, they don't. Yes, I know. This is something we've all known for years. This is just the most recent and particularly galling example that really pissed me the hell off.
Yeah, there's no risk for them.
Yeah.
Oh. Oops, my plan failed. Yank that golden parachute.
Oh no, the chat died.
Oh no.
But yeah, no, so I mean, if you want to talk about game fan fiction, we also can talk about fucking Skull and Bones. Which, let me get it clear here, right? It's a good game. What it isn't, a $70 game. What it isn't, a $60 game. What it isn't, a $50 game. What it isn't, a $40 game. It is a $30 game.
Going all the way to the bottom there, are you?
Hey,
but
by the way,
but that's what the thing is. So, Max, remember when Windward? You remember us when we played Windward? That 2D top down.
Oh, Windward! I remember playing Windward, Sneaky.
Yes.
I don't know if you and I played it. That might have been you and Atin.
There was me, Atin, you, and Rob.
Yeah, you were there for a bit.
You drove your ship around. You did trading contracts. You fought the pirates. You controlled a little ship on your screen, and you did enough. You could upgrade your ship to a bigger ship.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm getting it now.
Yeah.
Because I was only there for like an hour. I
think, exactly. We didn't play too much of it, but it was a fun little game. That was like $15, right? This is a 3D version of Windward. That's all it is. Rob and I played it. It's a 3D version of Windward.
Jeez.
And that's it.
I was gonna say, by the way, for $30, there's a game from a bunch of Russians that's like a successor to like one of the best, apparently a lot of people's like favorite pirate game. It's called Caribbean Legend. It's not my thing. Here's the thing. Look, I'm not asking for an enormous tutorial, right? But I'm asking for a little something, some guidance. Not yeeted into sandbox node with nothing and some poor English translations from a Russian guy. I need a little bit more than that for $30.
Yeah, Sneaky, let's not forget there was also Blackwake.
Oh, Blackwake, but that's more the combat part.
Oh, I know, but that game itself is also only $5.
Oh, is it, what?
It's one aspect of it. Yeah, it's only $5.
Listen, I'm not asking for much from Skull and Bones, but I'm asking for the ship combat to not be worse than a 10-year-old game looking at Black Flag.
And then there's Sea of Thieves, which is a $40 game currently.
Which actually is currently on the Game Pass now, I believe.
Sea of Thieves is trash.
I'm sure Sea of Thieves was a day one Game Pass.
The ship it was, but also the ship combat is also still better than the $70 game that they're trying to release.
I got Restream up and working now. There we go. Now, now YouTube and Twitch can talk to each other. I'm sure this will not backfire at all whatsoever.
Definitely not.
No, of course not. So anyway, it's fan fiction. They're like, oh, it's a quadruple A game, and what a lot of people forget about this sort of stuff is quadruple A is effectively a fan fiction tag, just like triple A is, because what it is it's just the amount of money the company spent on the game. It has nothing to do with the quality of the game or the investment into the game in terms of
quality.
Quality. Nothing to effort. There we go. Effort. Yeah. It is purely numbers. It is how much money and how many people. Well, so this is the thing. This is another thing, right? I talked about this before. Ubisoft had their new take on Assassin's Creed, which baffles me again because fucking Assassin's Creed 4, possibly the best Assassin's Creed game I've ever played.
Assassin's Creed 4, probably the best pirate game I've ever played. Assassin's Creed. That is Black Flag, yes.
Okay, yeah, you know what, that's
Assassin's
fair.
Creed,
I'll rephrase.
Probably the remastered Ezio collection is probably the best Assassin's Creed game I've actually ever played.
Yeah, no, I'll rephrase. Okay, the Ezio collection, clearly the best Assassin's Creed game. Black Flag had amazing advancements to it.
I spent more, in Black Flag, I spent more time on that ship willingly than I did on the islands, other than
absolutely,
because the ship movement and combat was just so good. And a decade later, the new games aren't even matching that.
But this is what blows my mind, right? Like, this is
just supposed to be Black Flag.
Yeah, it was. So literally, when Skull and Bones originally came out as an announcement, it was literally
11 years ago.
Yeah, 11 years ago, it was literally advertised as Black Flag, but just the ship stuff.
Yeah, it was Black Flag, but just going around in the ship.
And it was like, that's brilliant, amazing, well done, Ubisoft. That's going to be a great game. And then they fucked it up with countless project managers changing in and out, and they were trying to chase a bunch of trends, and you know, it absolutely fucked everything up, and it somehow got to the point where it turned into 3D Windward, where you couldn't even board other people anymore. You just damaged them to the point where you could board. You drove up next to them, you hit the board button, and it plays a cinematic, and you win, and that's it. And it's like, what the fuck? And it's like, for a $70 game, you know what I expect from it? I expect to do boarding combat. I expect for, like, instead of like this, because they have you gather resources, which, whatever, fine, fair enough. But they have you gather one resource at a time, right? So if you go up to a tree, it's the tree resource. It gives you one tree of mahogany. Whatever.
You have to go all the way back to the ship.
You have to get 30 mahogany trees to upgrade this part. Okay, that's a little bit dumb. Why couldn't you just balance it? So it's like, oh, as a trading barge, you have 50 people, and you can stop at an island and disembark the 50 people, and they'll go around and chop all the trees down and collect some resources, and you'll get like a smattering of like food to sell and like iron and stone and wood, and then they bring it all back. It'd be cool because like you could see like, you know, the ship docking itself, and then they throw lines over and they all go down, and they come back occasionally and lift stuff up. And then if you got a bigger ship, you know, maybe the biggest ships have just a bigger crew in general, so they can send more people out. But like trading ships could have like more people just capable of going out.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the town mechanics from that Assassin's Creed where you played as an Indian?
3.
Yeah, sort of, but like you weren't be physically controlling them. Like you just see like them coming off the ship, and you could sit there and watch them, like, you know, chopping the trees down, and it would play like them. All the trees would be chopped down and stuff like that, and they'd bring the resources back, and then like, you could have like this whole thing of like, oh shit, I gotta go, I'm about to be attacked, and then so you could have like a bell ring, and then fucking everyone starts like running back with whatever they have, and then like, you know, like the more people you have, the more resources you can gain in the same amount of time, but the longer it takes for them to all come back.
And you have an option to just leave.
Yeah, and then you could be like, you could take like a penalty if you just leave people, like, that's cool. And then you could have like the whole town system, where as a trader you bring resources to the town, because right now all you do is you shoot 2 fucking watchtowers, and the town is successfully raided, and you get a bunch of loot out of it. What would be cooler, again, is if you were a trader, you took your trading ship up to the town, and just idling there, you could play like fucking, I guess, a fucking minigame if you really wanted to, but like in the background it's like, oh yeah, your sailors are going out and selling stuff, and you can tell them to like buy certain things, you can see the prices, like basically you could play a fucking stocks minigame of like, oh, the price on the iron's going up, so stop buying that, oh, the food price went down, start buying that, and then, you know, like,
I can't believe my crew is doing the stock minigame while I'm doing the fishing minigame.
Right, like you could have done so much with it, and it wouldn't have taken too much effort, but unfortunately Ubisoft is just so retarded and filled with so many retarded managers who fill their ranks with so many retarded game designers that all they can produce, which, don't get me wrong, Windward 2 was dog shit. I fucking hated it. I hate the company that made it, and they can all burn in a fire. Skull and Bones in its current state, I would buy as a good equivalent of Windward 2. Because that's all it is right now. What it isn't...
Skull and Bones feels like a worse Sea of Thieves to me.
It literally is. Like I said, it's literally Windward 2. Like, you go up to a tree, and you play a cutting minigame, and you get 1 tree, and there's only 3 trees on the island. So you have to go find the other 7 islands with those trees, and cut them down, and then you bring it back to town, and you get like 1% extra HP on your ship. It is...
Woo!
That's dumb.
The combat is infinitely worse. The graphics are infinitely worse. There is no engaging systems in the game. I've played it. The plot was...
There's a plot?
there was a plot. It was like, all right. Like, don't get me wrong. I wasn't expecting some sort of big plot out of it. But like...
It's still disappointed.
Yeah.
But it's a quadruple A game. That means it's good, right?
Like, well, the thing is like, I expect a bare minimum of certain mechanics if you put $800 million into a game.
You think if this bombs, they're gonna make better pirate games like JJK has seemed to save the anime industry by canceling 5 games because it did so fucking horribly, and now they're redoing how they do anime games.
Well, no. See, the problem is JJK crashing and burning the way it didn't save the anime industry. It saved Bandai Namco, because Bandai Namco is the main publisher of all of those games, and so the main publisher felt the blowback and said, oh shit, I just burned my hand, I should stop burning my hand. The problem is that a lot of these companies are too big to fail at this point, and if they do fail, they just vaporize and disappear, and then everyone else does the exact same mistake until they also vaporize and disappear. Because unfortunately, I don't know, I guess maybe the entire upper management are all communists, because they all think, well, though this time I'll be the real capitalist and I'll do it right, and I'll make the biggest money. Because I'm right. Everyone else did it wrong.
Now let me make this absolute copy of every game seen in the last over 10 years. What's that? Max? This isn't.
Just the only downside to this is that odds are one of those 5 games may have actually been a good one.
Oh, they could have been great. See, that's the problem. Yeah, the problem is that the team that made JJK probably isn't working on any of those 5 games that got canceled.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it could also just be 5 Ninja Storm clones that do worse.
Oh, it could be, but we don't know, and we'll never know now. But that's the thing, though, is like even when these companies, air quotes, learn and try and do better on their next game, they don't actually learn. They just go, oh my god, game sold bad. I don't understand what's going on. Cancel all games like this. But sir, our best team is working on this one game. No, it is like the game that didn't sell well. I know game that didn't sell well is made of entirely new people who have never had any experience in the industry, but game didn't sell well. That means no one buy it anymore. Cancel all thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what their fucking reaction is. It's like this literal micro brain, just absolute beyond retarded reaction. Like, even an actual medical retard probably wouldn't continuously put their hand on a stove after they burn
Bold of you to assume this.
I mean,
bold, very bold.
I mean, I actually knew someone who was medically retarded, and they just didn't cook because they burned themselves, and they're like, I don't like cooking. It's like, well, I mean, that's fair enough.
Do not allow this man to cook.
Yes, brother, keep cooking.
More like upper managements filled with trust fund brats who inherited their positions and grew up surrounded by nepotism and yes men. Yeah.
Well, yes, but
that too.
That too.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to the fan fiction of Niji Sanji's gotcha on Selen. So, like any true fan fiction, they give it a title. They give it an edgy title. A Different Truth.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, but that's the start of some, like... I'm sorry, that's the start of some jackass's manifesto. Let's be honest here.
No. Here's the alternate thing. It's the start of one of those betrayal fics for the main character.
Oh no, it's even worse. They edited this.
Oh no!
This has had multiple edits now, so they might have even removed the really egregiously bad stuff that I was going to make fun of.
Or they could have done the Lulu v Britannia thing and just read it and gave it back.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Also very true. So they start off with like an author's note. See, this is why I'm referring to it as a fucking fan fiction, because they're literally just like. Author's note. I am not minimizing the impact of mental illness and suicide.
I think you are.
What a way to start this off, right?
The fact that they have to say that means that they just implies otherwise.
Says a lot. It really just speaks volumes. Moment.
I'm not about to defend Hitler, but like author, that is the level you are on right now.
Obviously, this is not a conclusive document. I have covered the key points that I think no one else ever does.
Yeah,
So I mean, he's got his own head up his ass, so yeah, that's definitely like a fanfiction author.
And of course, in true fanfiction fashion, let me read you guys the summary.
Oh, yes.
The simplistic narrative that Niji Sanji is a black company and that Selen claims she made no profit are incredibly misleading. Calling these out does not make someone a company bootlicker. Instead, it demands focus on the facts.
Whoever wrote this
let's just let him get through it. Yeah. Let's get him let him get through the summary, and then we'll shred the summary.
Try and look beyond the narrative of evil corporation versus helpless victim. It sounds crude to put it this way, but that's how the discussion has been framed.
Oh boy, I got some notes on there. Continue.
Try not to view it as evil corporation versus person who almost committed suicide.
Like I said, I've got some notes, but let's keep going. If you need a minute, I can read the next line.
Since the final Niji Sanji statement, which, by the way, I personally subscribe to Asmongold's name change for them. I think they should be called Rip Bozo from now on.
Hang on. Yeah, don't forget the important part here.
This feels like a try not to laugh video.
It is.
Yeah.
There are important contradictions and omissions between the different statements made by Any Colors, the Livers, and Selen. Since the final Niji Sanji EN statement so far, Selen's attitude towards legal activity and the overall situation appears to have changed somewhat.
Almost like she talked to her lawyers.
As long as Selen provides no evidence of this bullying and harassment, every liver under Niji Sanji EN will continue to suffer immense levels of harassment that has prevented every liver from carrying out their jobs to different extents.
Now, so
please reach these statements.
Yeah, here's
watch
the thing.
This video.
Right. Selen never said anyone was bullying her.
Niji did.
Yeah. Selen came out and said, I had issues with Niji Sanji's management. And Niji Sanji's management said, nah, you're lying. The Livers didn't bully you to suicide.
Which everyone was like, wait, hold up.
I'm sorry?
Which everyone just paused and was like, wait, we didn't say the Livers.
I'm just picturing the Fallout name, like, hold up.
It's hold up.
That is the entire reader base. Like, there's hold up.
It is literally the record scratch.
Just hold on. What was that last statement you just made?
It's very.
Listen, it's either that or it's the iCarly meme. What you got there? A smoothie.
Right. Or it's the other political meme of, I think corruption is bad, and then someone runs in saying, why are you bringing the Jews into this? It's like,
What?
Didn't bring up the Jews.
Pardon?
Excuse me?
Hold up here. That's not what I said, but it's very curious that that's what you came with response as.
We think that you're problematic. I didn't fuck any of those kids.
What?
Huh?
Yeah, exactly right.
We didn't say anything about that.
No one mentioned that? Curious you feel the need to defend that. But okay, hang on. Just going back up to the summary there, one of my little comments here. Listen, evil corporation versus helpless victim. I don't know how to tell you this, author. And I say this as a fan of the free market. Corporations are evil. Yeah. That's why we need laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you forget about the grand destruction of the corporations by the favorite character, Teddy Roosevelt?
I would like to tell you about this man, this funny guy.
That's a troll.
You may recognize him.
But yeah, so it's just she's don't believe the portrayal that Selen's a helpless victim. It's like, well, she did try and commit suicide twice.
Why is there a trend?
Yeah. She did get fired unprompted, finding only about it through Twitter. It's like, doesn't exactly sound like she had a lot of power in the company if she was told fuck off by management when she brought forward issues to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of does fit the definition of helpless victim. You're just angry that the helpless victim went and told everyone else what was happening to them, and it turns out that several million people is a little bit louder than 20 people in Nijisanji management.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder to ignore millions of people than the one victim.
Also, Niji came out with a fucking statement saying that the impact of firing Selen would be negligible. I don't know if this document talks about it at this point, but
which
firing this person isn't gonna cause a problem.
As I went to Max and said, well, yes, but I went to Max and said, yeah, this giant computer company just dropped their contract with Nijisanji because in the head of HR and PR's own words, they just called our contract with them a economic negligibility.
I don't think I saw that one.
So, alright, fuck you and die.
That's gonna hurt. Like, how many fucking sponsors have basically dropped?
Oh, listen, this entire event, Snoop Dogg has summoned this one up for me.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is. I mean, also, it's been the fucking "we'll be right back" meme of just like. They just said that. We'll be right back. Because it's just like a goddamn.
I think that one.
The current narrative seems to go like this: Selen is the ultimate victim, unjustly fired by an evil company which has constantly shown favoritism against her, sabotaging her projects and stifling her potential.
Yeah.
This black and white claim easily draws people to support the underdog, Selen, who has broken free of corporate shackles to rise as a solo streamer. All right, first of all, she has, and everybody loves that, but we're moving on.
Oh, again, supporting I hate to interrupt you, Atin, but again, this is one of those situations where it's like you're in a competition against, like, you know, insert person, you know, competition against blank, but they're a hater of yours, and they're like, oh, yeah, I hate Trump so much. He's like the god emperor of mankind. It's like, well, Like, do you ever see the fucking commercials that China makes about the U.S. military?
Oh, yeah, no.
Those
make us look sick, yo.
The generals are, like, walking through the water because they're 600 feet tall shooting laser beams, and it's like, you're an American propaganda commercial, and your opponent's the Chinese.
I think my favorite one so far is the one that had a bunch of, like, cutesy little Chinese pandas.
Oh, the rabbits?
You know, yeah, the rabbit's getting fucked up by this, like, ace American bald eagle flying a jet.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, this is pretty good for us, bro.
Yeah,
I've now decided the fighting game community has a joke of, like, be the American Japan thinks you are with a bunch of stereotypes.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think I'd rather be the American China thinks I am.
Wait, Max, have you seen this video?
No, I want to. Please
okay, hang on. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find.
But yeah,
I love watching Chinese propaganda.
But it's literally this. It's like, oh yeah, you know, you guys all think that the current narrative is like Selen versus the company. You know, the company Nijisanji, an evil corporation bent on destroying babies, and Selen is this underdog hero that's fighting against them. It's like, what the fuck?
Nobody mentioned.
Actually, it's not Niji versus Selen. It's Niji versus the fans.
Yeah.
Also, why does this fanfiction, its flow and the way it's read, for some reason, it reminds me of the Seize the Means of Production communist speech.
It literally, yes. Yeah, pretty much.
The way you read it, it's the exact same.
And it's like, supporting the remaining livers is equated to supporting people who bullied Selen. Well, considering the fact that Niji said they were bullying Selen.
Yeah, it's not even. It's the. I would argue it's probably the livers that were involved in the video.
Or B, supporting an evil company. Can't separate liver from the corporation. Yeah. Well, considering the fact that Nijisanji cover and, well, actually pretty much just those two, do extremely harsh controls on what their talents are allowed to say and do. when the talent does say and does something, and it isn't immediately taken down because the company was like, no, you can't fucking say that, then it is tactic approval from the company, which, you know, means...
We can say that's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it should be pointed out that, like, the livers who didn't participate in this video have been kind of left alone.
Well, they've all gone silent.
Yeah, several of them.
Listen, this is definitely
the video.
Silence is your best defense.
Yeah, now
Yes,
a couple did retweet the video, and if you believe the grand unifying rat theory, which is gaining a lot of traction, basically,
I can't imagine why it's gaining traction.
the grand unifying rat is that Alira, the one that's posted in the chat, is basically the main translator between EN and JP. The grand unifying rat theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's the main translator, and so therefore everything that needs to be spoken to the JP management goes through her, which means obviously she can fucking rephrase it however she wants. She can do her own fucking Funimation fan dub of what she feels really needs to be said.
Yeah.
And she can do it in real time.
Yeah. And so basically, if Selen came, if you didn't lick Alira's boot, as the rat goes, if you don't lick Alira's boot, then she will basically either not tell JP management, or she'll tell JP management this like extremely skewed idea of what you wanted to communicate. So they'll say no, so then she can come back and say, oh, well, JP management said no, so you can't do it.
Yeah.
So that's what the theory
And
is.
They don't have a counter translator.
Yeah, effectively.
I believe there's also a theory for all those livers who are being silent is that they've actually been threatened with their contract and other shit like that, but I don't know how
Which,
true that is.
I mean, is considering the fact that Scarlet went fucking anti-Niji, and then she suddenly went extremely silent, and then and again, the autists came out for this one. Suddenly her posting habits changed on Twitter for a post to tell everyone that she was totally okay, believe me, guys. Her post, that post didn't match all of her previous history of posts and how she phrases things, just like Selen's, which proved, actually, by the way, they later did prove that one of management did take her phone from her.
Daily sees the account.
From Doki or from
Doki, yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they admitted that themselves.
Yes. Well, yeah. While Selen was in the hospital, they took the phone from her and tweeted out on Twitter, pretending to be her, saying that she was all right.
Yeah, they admitted that in the termination document.
So they can basically. So it's them hijacking every other account and just silencing the livers is entirely possible.
Yeah. So basically, them going around and saying either post this or we're gonna post it for you and fire you.
Yeah.
Because Niji Sanji has also come out as well in their termination document for Selen and said that we don't care about our livers. The livers only make a very small portion of our revenue, so we don't give a shit about them. We'll keep firing them as much as we need to. So, yes, obviously, if you're a person who wants to keep their job working for Niji Sanji, you'll just nod your head and lick the boot.
Yes.
Again, you know, some of these people might feel intimidated to do it anyway. I feel that's pathetic, but hey, you know, do what you want to do. Anyway, so these arguments ignore the fact that all parties involved are adults.
Oh boy, this is I'm reading ahead. This is so stupid.
We're pulling out that argument already.
Who signed a contract to abide to rules that must be followed.
Yeah, this totally isn't written by the fucking management.
Yeah, including vigorous copyright checks. You don't really need a vigorous copyright check. In fact, I'm capable of doing all the copyright checks necessary for me to post content.
Motherfucker, anyone, no, not everyone here. Most people here could do it.
Yeah, the thing is that it's different in Japan, because in Japan, you need to be somebody who knows somebody who can get you in contact with somebody at the company that you need to check with to allow it to be used their copyright, because copyright in Japan is absolutely fucking brain dead. But, Japan is brain dead, more news at 11.
I mean, I can just point to American copyright and tell you.
I'm not saying American copyright's all that much better. It's that the fact that we have fair use laws, which makes us better. Because we go, okay, yes, you do technically own, Kleenex, but we don't need to check with you if we put a box of tissues in our movie, because it might look like a Kleenex box. It doesn't say Kleenex on it, it's fair use. You can't copyright a tissue box.
Yes. Unlike in YouTube, where you can copyright fucking anything and get someone dead.
Yeah, but anyway.
But point being, though, is that Japanese copyright laws are way different, and Selin, again, this is another thing, in their fucking statement about why they fired Selin, it boiled down to, she's not Japanese, she didn't act like a Japanese person, she didn't obey Japanese social etiquette, and she was a real go-getter who went ahead and did extra work on her end, so we would have to do less. That's why she's a bad person and you should hate her. Somehow that didn't go over great with the English audience. Can't fathom why.
I wonder why.
I can't fathom possibly why that would be the case.
You mean the country that pioneered the admittedly highly idiotic phrase "pull yourself up by your bootstraps"?
Yes.
No, it's not idiotic.
That was engineered
poorly
else,
understood.
Took to it.
But yeah, point being is that they really sold it poorly, and they sold Selin as a villain for contacting copyright holders on her own and getting approval from them on her own, because it needs to be done through the Japanese way, because they're a Japanese company, but they're employing someone who isn't in Japan, so...
Yeah, just one of those things.
You again, this is something I fucking shit all over cover for, is technically Hollow EN is still in Japan. Hollow EN is not being managed from an English-speaking country using English-speaking laws.
I don't like that. I'm going to be honest.
No, it's really dumb. It's stupid, and I hate it.
Here's the thing. That applies to like permissions and stuff, but if they get in any actual legal trouble, the U.S. staff can absolutely sue and have sufficient standing in the U.S. because they're an international company. They live in the U.S. They're employed in the U.S.
Right,
they pay U.S. taxes.
Right, but that's for legal court cases, and where the company signs documents acknowledging the fact that while in the U.S. they have to follow U.S. law pertaining to employment and stuff like that. But the fact that is that, like, Callie couldn't play Persona because in Japan, Atlas doesn't allow people to play Persona. Callie did not live in Japan the entire time. So, Kiara still has to follow Japanese laws despite being in Austria about what she's allowed to play. It's really stupid, because the Japanese don't believe in fair use, and if they had a branch actually genuinely set up in the US to serve as a branch company, allowing them to fall under fair use laws, I think they would do 100 times fucking better as a company. Because they would be able just to play fucking games, and they wouldn't have to, like, jump through hoops to beg companies to let them play their games. But, fucking, that would be sensible and would work. We don't do that here. Anyway. So, blah, blah, blah permission garbage. No one cares. When people shit talk the company we work for, I don't like that. It demotivates us. Obviously, we voiced our own problems, but I prefer not to stream anymore. But would I prefer to not stream anymore, to quit doing this? Absolutely not. Every workplace has its bad stuff, and I've worked all sorts of jobs. Okay. Yes, but I've never had to work a job where I've lived in one country, but I had to follow the rules of another country. Sounds kind of stupid, especially when my management refuses to learn English, so I can't actually talk to them, and I have to use someone else to talk to them for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, listen, complain. Listen, we can be as mad as we like at CoverCore and the way they treat.
They at least hire fucking English-speaking staff, yeah.
Yeah, and there's multiple competent translators.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very.
They also, support their staff learning Japanese and help them do it.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
I signed a contract that dictates everything I'm supposed to do and not do. I can't be mad at that because I signed it. That's all I have to say. Well, no, you can, because unlike Japanese law, here in the U.S., we have this really cool thing called something about coercion, effectively. So even if you sign, a forced coercion or contractual coercion, basically, if you sign a contract that says you have to kill a baby every month, or you're fired and you don't kill a baby that month and they fire you, they can't.
Well, no. So Sneaky, you're getting a couple different things confused. So first of all, an important part of U.S. law is that you cannot sign away fundamental right. That's why all these companies, they say, if you pursue legal action against us, you agree to do it in a court of arbitration, because they cannot, except under very specific circumstances, indemnify themselves from legal consequences. Right? That's why all those things, when you go skydiving or bungee jumping or whatever, basically they say that if you don't do what our safety experts tell you, then you can't sue us, because we did our best to keep you safe and you didn't listen to us and you acknowledge this is inherently dangerous. But if they're negligible, yeah, you can still sue them, right? But you can't sign away your right for things like legal action. Number two, any contract that a person signs, or a deal or agreement or whatever, even if it's an informal agreement, which, by the way, yes, informal agreements do fall under U.S. contract law.
True.
Imagine that.
No, that's actually a really important thing, because some places don't.
Oh no, I know it's important.
But anyway, regardless of how the agreement is made, you cannot be mandated to perform an illegal action.
Yeah.
And any so-called punishment you receive as a result of breaking an agreement that specifies you must take an illegal action, that's not allowed. And in fact, the person can then pursue legal actions. Right? So, for instance, like Sneaky said, the contract says you must sacrifice a baby each month or you are fired. And then you say, no, I won't, and you follow the rest of the contract and nothing else in there is illegal. You could then sue for wrongful termination or breach of contract.
Right.
So you can sue YouTube.
Probably also report them for the baby sacrifice.
Well, yeah, that's it. But also on top of that, to be a less exaggerated example of, if the contract says that you have to get proper permissions before posting anything. Well, the thing is that if you say do a cover song, and you go to that person who wrote the song and said, hey, can I sing a cover of your song? And they say, yeah, no, sure, go ahead. Can I post it? Yeah, sure, totally, go ahead. Can I make money off of it? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Awesome. And then you go and post the song. Legally, the company can't come down on you for doing that, because you got the permissions you needed. Oh, it's not the way we like it. That's retaliatory punishment, and that's illegal.
Well.
Oh no, Snake. Are you talking about the Last Cup of Coffee cover?
Yes.
No, that wasn't because of the song.
Oh, I know it wasn't because of the song. It was because of the graduated people inside of the song.
Yeah, that was the permissions thing. The problem is they were making it sound like it was the song.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
but
problem
anyway,
is they
moving
were
on
lying
to
about
the
why.
last point of Sneaky's thing is, then there's the last thing, which is agreements signed under duress are not even if the full contract is a perfectly legal document, agreements signed under duress are not legally binding. That's a really important part of U.S. contract law. And U.S. contract law recognizes that coercion can be physical, emotional, it can be
economic,
financial.
Yep.
There's many different ways someone can be subjected to coercion.
And actually, on top of this is why EULAs mean nothing as well. Is U.S. courts also said that any document that is too complicated for a user to understand or contains unexplained inferences in the document, they are not held legally liable for. So if you as a company write on the document, the liver must seek correct permissions, if the liver understands that as, I need to go to the song holder and talk to them about posting a song cover of theirs, then that's it. That's as far as their legal liability goes, and the company can't punish them for them not explaining what they actually wanted. And that's why EULAs basically don't hold any ground in court anymore, because the courts were like, we can't reasonably expect someone to read a 75-page document about what they are and aren't allowed to do with this program, and basically said that as long as the person is not actively breaking a current U.S. law with the program, the companies have no grounds to take any action against the individual.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff that, as much as I get annoyed with some parts of U.S. consumer protection, there's a decent amount of stuff we have that prevents us from being places like Japan, where it's just fucking kangaroo court insanity. Anyway, skipping ahead all of this. Clearly, there are many more restrictions on corporate livers than independent.
Yeah. So this is another part where they contradict themselves, and I'm so glad they kept this in. There are more restrictions being a corporate, tuber versus independent, and being in a company is not for everyone. Being part of a Japanese VTuber agency means you represent the corporation. Let's scroll back up to 2 paragraphs earlier. Point B, supporting a liver is supporting the company because you, the reader, are unable to separate the liver from the corporation.
Yeah.
2 paragraphs later, livers represent the corporation.
Yeah. You are not being an independent streamer. Your actions reflect on the company as a whole and thus affect other lives. Notably, many criticisms directed toward Ninja Sanji are symptomatic of how other major Japanese VTubing corporations function, such as HoloLive. In Japan, big for-profit organizations like Holo and Niji have to be especially careful when it comes to copyright compared to independent streamers. HoloLive previously experienced being copyright struck, resulted in a number of videos being privated. In another instance, an apology was previously issued to Nintendo for a failure to comply with streaming guidelines. That's not a dig at HoloLive, but an example of how seriously corporations take copyright and due process in Japan. Better to be safe than sorry when one person can cause problems for the entire company. Even with the bureaucracy this necessitates, other EN livers who got as much as they could from being a Ninja Sanji or wanted to pursue less restrictive creative avenues chose to end their contracts and graduate amicably. A bunch of people that I haven't heard of.
Except for Pamu, who did not amicably end their contract.
Yeah. Zion Lanza is Gacha when it comes to Ninja Sanji without taking into account the detailed statement of activity rule breaking within a short couple of months she was active, published upon her termination.
Which was also filled with riddles of errors, but yeah.
Riddled with errors. Regardless of that, Pomu's was not amicable in the slightest. The only reason I even heard about Pomu was because of how unamicable it was. But regardless, now, an important part of breaking down people's strawmans like this is pulling out the legitimate argument and separating it from all the bullshit stirred in. So, the legitimate point in here is that people who work for an entertainment agency have to be careful of what they do and say because they represent an entertainment industry. That is a fact, right? That's why someone like Gina Carano that's why a place like Disney can drop Gina Carano, and regardless of how much money someone like Elon Musk gives her to sue, she's never going to make any money because unfortunately, Disney is a really big corporation. Disney has everybody sign contracts that, hey, you got to be careful what you say, and if you make us look bad by being associated with you, we will drop you like a hot rock.
Right, exactly.
Which,
and
regardless of whether or not you think what Gina Carano said is wrong, lots of other people do.
And then on top of that, Japan, they are correct in this as well. Japan is very strict. However, what they're doing and what they're building the straw man up to is they're trying to obfuscate what exactly.
Obfuscate.
You were both wrong.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Obfuscate. Eat my shit.
You're both wrong. It's pronounced obfuscate.
Anyway, thank you.
Obfuscate. Okay.
Obfuscate.
Yes.
Anyway, so point being though is, it puts some fucking smog up. We're throwing smoke here, where what they're trying to hide is the fact that Selin broke copyright. Oh, she broke copyright of the company she's working for the company she's working for.
First of all, she didn't. I didn't even see any instances of her breaking other copyright.
Exactly. That's my point, though. Part of the statement of why they fired her is because of her breaking the copyright, among other things, air quotes. But the thing is the copyright she broke was a copyright that Niji Sanji held.
The group she's with.
Yes, the group she's working for. It's like if Disney fired someone for making a post about Mickey Mouse, but the person making the post about Mickey Mouse is the PR manager of Mickey Mouse. It's like, yeah, I kind of assumed I had the ability to post about Mickey Mouse, being that I work for you, Disney, managing Mickey Mouse.
No.
Yes, Phoenix. Yes, you are correct. But again, as Atin said,
we also can't say that out loud.
Oh, yes, obviously. But Atin is correct in saying that it's not about what she said; it's about the public reaction to it, and it's not even about the public reaction to it; it's about the loudest public reaction to it.
The loudest public reaction, which jeopardized things like advertisement revenue and
which doesn't actually doesn't actually jeopardize it. It just looks like it could, which gives them the ground to do action.
Right, but that's my point. What she said was why it was being reacted to in the public sphere as wildly unpopular. That is a threat to Disney and entertainment companies' primary income stream. Therefore, you've breached the contract of don't fucking make us look bad.
So, again, more logical fallacies are pouring in here. So point number 2 that this person makes in their fanfiction is that other people who worked for Niji Sanji have come forward and said how grateful they were for how much money they made under Niji Sanji. Therefore, Selin is wrong because she made profit.
Yeah, so this includes about how grateful they are and all the opportunities they got. This includes the benefits of regular employment, becoming full-time streamers, paying their bills and rent, upgrading their PC setups, and going on trips. Yet others, some of whom earn far less than Selin, have spoken of paying off their student loans, buying property and land, producing numerous high-quality and expensive covers, and living lives they could not have imagined prior to joining Niji Sanji. Sources here. In the return stream post-termination, she talks about making no profit in the past year because she spent roughly $200,000 Canadian on projects. This has led to the barrage of claims that Niji Sanji is not profitable for libraries and takes all their income, including 2% of the merch that has long been used in anti-Niji Sanji arguments. Despite this, Rosemi and Pomu could quit their jobs. I have paid off for
why is it long-standing?
Okay, it's long-standing because Niji Sanji announced that the livers only get a 2% cut.
Yeah,
it's not a disputed argument. It's fact that the livers only get 2% of their merchandise
3 months
sales.
after his debut, was able to cover all living costs, pick up new upgrades, and put an increasing amount of money towards repaying student loans. At this point in a VOD, covers and projects are expensive. Many other livers regularly release covers, original songs, and have spoken about the permission process, back and forth with management and the high content and the high cost. These are not profit-bringing ventures; they're done as passion projects, and there's bureaucracy involved. Maria has stated, making covers is not profitable. I don't do it because it's profitable, because it's not. I do it for myself because I enjoy singing and doing the covers. I'm able to see myself improve. And that 90% of the time, cover songs are not monetized. Similar experiences are shared by Axel from Hollow Stars and Marine from Hollow Live.
Yeah, except for the fact that actually a large portion of covers and various sponsorships and tournaments are covered by cover. We have proof of this. It's been talked about before. Cover helps with the original model costs. They help with setting up events. They help cover travel costs. They help cover, breakfast and bed, and they even give the fucking they even give them a fucking allowance for when they come to Japan to do events. They're like, hey, you're here in Japan, here's basically a business allowance to go eat food, see sights, and do things.
Yes.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, so and then Callie's been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go bring my friends out to a super expensive restaurant, and I'm gonna pay for it because I earned lots of money working for cover. So, but the point here again, this is some more obfuscation.
Yeah.
Covers aren't profit-bringing ventures. I mean, they can be if you monetize it, which you are allowed to do if you are doing a full cover of the song with your own visuals included. That's actually called fair use. And if you aren't monetizing it because of some obscure Japanese retardation, that sounds like a skill issue and not a selling issue.
Yeah. Moving on to their...
Do they cover the part where the original maker of the song was like, I love people doing covers, they don't need my permission?
Yes.
Yeah.
They did not.
That's
no.
a whole other problem. Moving on, should the company in the future contribute for big events, this seems reasonable. Many Niji Sanji fans have been critical of management regarding the need for more branch-wide projects, reinvesting into EN, and those points are valid, but these do not suggest that Selen has been unfairly targeted or had money withheld. As things are, the company does not owe her reimbursement. These are personal projects that come from the liver's own pocket.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about this here then. So... should the company in the future cover bigger events? This is where you start off with a point they agree with, and then follow up with the point you want to make, so they'll agree with you more likely because you made a point earlier that they agree with.
Yep.
Yes, a common logical fallacy.
Yes. Well, it's a rhetorical fallacy, not logical.
Well, yeah.
I was saying it as just like a...
But anyway,
point being is that, so yes, they even admit here in their own statement that Niji Sanji basically covers nothing. They cover no expenses. They offer no help. Should they offer more help, like, say, investing in the branch? Well, what were they doing before? Should they eat less babies? Well, hold on.
Well, what were they doing
what
before?
What do you mean less babies?
Shouldn't it be?
Yeah,
no?
But anyway,
Mott and Bailey, yes, Mott and Bailey.
Dead is that Selen made over 200,000 Canadian dollars in the last year while being in Niji Sanji, no small amount. She chose to spend all of this on highly ambitious projects, such as a birthday concert, the original song, and the last cup of coffee cover. Make no mistake, these are beautiful projects, and she put her heart and soul into them. No one denies her contributions to the company, and moreover, the tournaments Selen helped run have always been fun and appreciated by the fans. Within the past year, other livers, such as a bunch of people, have hosted tournaments, and as well as the official EN channel launched a Mario Kart tournament, optimistically suggesting an increasingly shared burden of event management. Over half the branch were flown to Japan for the major annual convention. Newly debuted Kunai. Niji flew me out at no cost to myself just to give me the experience, just so that I could write on the wall and meet other people. And all the livers, except the newly debuted Wave, were invited to partake in Anime Impulse, Selen's final major tournament. The Prism Cup Minecraft event was co-hosted and funded entirely by Vox Akuma. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Vox,
but that's,
it's the other liver. So again, this is a point. Niji totally helps everyone, and it's like other stuff. And by the way, actually, Selen's last tournament was entirely funded by another liver who was making more money than her. It's like,
again, there's plenty of room to improve its management, priorities, and funding and permission process. Of course, contrary to repeated claims, most fans are not bootlickers. They support the livers first and foremost, but there's a difference between well-meaning criticism and the barrage of hatred and bad faith takes that have flooded the social media. Live stream chats, hashtags, often based on misinformation and tin hat speculation. Many of these people were never fans of Selen in the first place. There's a difference between criticizing Ninja Sanji because you support Selen versus capitalizing on the situation to attack Ninja Sanji in the hopes the company and its livers will burn to the ground. Ninja Sanji PR leaves much to be desired, but they have been fighting an uphill battle as drama YouTubers pounce on the situation to misinform hundreds of thousands, even millions of people unfamiliar with VTubers or already prejudiced against Ninja Sanji. These people are not simply supporting Selen.
Why?
They're accusing her ex-coworkers of being irredeemable bullies who directly caused her suicide attempt, despite Doki herself calling for an end to harassment. The end goal seems to force them to stop streaming, to graduate, to end their careers, to get out before it's too late. This leads back to the original claim that Ninja Sanji is an evil company, which works with their livers in slave-like conditions, has hated Selen since day one, and could come for your favorite liver next. Occam's razor suggests that yes, this simplistic narrative is true, the big bad company versus just Selen. Alternatively, try to consider this situation from the side of Ninja Sanji. Yes, please run with me. Won't anyone think of the big bad corporation? My God!
Occam's razor dictates that yes, this is indeed big evil company versus Selen.
Leave the multi-million-dollar company alone.
Explanation is big evil company versus Selen.
I appreciate everybody holding it in until I got through all of that. My goodness. Okay, so I want to jump back up.
Also, yeah, side said most fans are not bootlickers, so some fans are bootlickers.
I want to jump back up to the top here, where we can cover Sneaky's really about midway through here.
Yeah, right.
Where we can cover the really important difference between
profit.
Yes, exactly that.
Nice nose.
Good job, Nose.
Least insane Blizzard fan.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Selen made over 200K while being in Ninja Sanji. This is no small amount. She chose to spend this all on ambitious projects like having a birthday concert, making an original song, and making a cover. These are not ambitious projects. Making a cover is not an ambitious project. Even slightly.
Let's split this out into a couple different problems here. Okay, an original song and a cover. Those are things that they've said that that Ninja Sanji does not provide for.
Yep, at all.
Okay. A birthday concert absolutely should be covered.
It would be a business event.
It is quite literally a business event. In fact, I'm very certain, I haven't seen the contract, but I'm more than willing to bet that there's something in there about you need to do a birthday stream.
Oh, yes.
And you need to be prepared.
Birthday streams are some of the biggest revenue days for livers.
Yeah, because that's when all the sad fans throw money at them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they throw money.
Did she ask big-name celebrities to feature in any of the songs or come to the birthday party? No, she actually asked no one to come. She covered everything in terms of the original song and the cover of the Last Cup of Coffee song. She did all the vocals. She did contract out the remixing, and she did contract out the animation and art. However, none of that would have come to even remotely over 10K at worst.
It certainly wouldn't have come to anywhere near $200,000 Canadian. But anyway, also, I want to point out $200,000 Canadian, right? Okay, that's not a lot. It's
like 1,500.
Sure, it's not nothing, but
I mean, it's a very low amount compared to other top earners for other companies, yes. Now, this is another thing I want to point out as someone who did watch her streams. She was talking about how she has a new manager, and her new manager was explaining to her how the sponsor money is supposed to go towards the costs of the tournament she runs. And she's like, what do you mean? Because apparently before, Niji Sanji was taking the sponsor money, and then she had to fund the entire tournament herself, while thanking blank company for their sponsorship. Oh wow!
So we're not beating those
on.
allegations.
Wow, I was pretty fucking spot on. You're welcome. But
yes. Anyway,
but yeah, so it's like, yes, and they're specifically not mentioning in this paragraph here, they try to go with ambitious projects like birthday concerts and songs, because they know they would be blatantly in the wrong if they talked about any of the numerous tournaments that Selen hosted. And then they even go on to prove this point by saying that Selen's last major tournament that was hosted was entirely funded by Vox.
Lamau?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a song that...
That implies that Vox would pay out of his pocket for anything other than getting his own fucking dick sucked.
Pretty much.
Apparently he did here. But
yes.
regardless, right, I did actually go look a little bit at the Prism Minecraft event. There are sponsors in that tournament.
Yes.
There are sponsors in that tournament. So...
funded entirely by Vox. If we're supposed to believe this person and everything they say, they're saying in their own statement that Niji Sanji, despite getting numerous sponsors for a tournament, left Vox to fund all of the expenses.
Yeah.
Which just literally is proving the point that everyone was making, that they're saying, nuh-uh, I'm going to use an example that makes me look worse.
But anyway, moving on to point number 3. Selen has repeatedly tweeted out impulsively when her projects fall through, omitting key context, such as a planned Fall Guy tournament, which later turned out was related to A, assuming old approvals were valid when they weren't, and B, announcing the tournament on a different date. As a result, it appears she was told to change it from international to EN only, which is unfortunate, but hard to say unfair for targeting favoritism against her. This was never corrected on Twitter, only on stream, a recurring theme. Several other examples can be found in her now restricted Twitter account.
So I want to cover that real quick. So again, this comes back to Japanese law. So again, Fall Guys have gone on record saying that they want as many people playing their game as possible, streaming playing their game, running tournaments playing their game. They want people playing their game. Yes, you have permissions. Don't ask us.
Absolutely, because if their games stop being able to find 60 people per game, that thing's bombing. People aren't going to play when you can't get a full fucking game on.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. They need as many people as they can playing. It's not a matter of wanting.
She dared to assume that she would still be allowed to play Fall Guys. To anyone not in Japan, that sounds like the dumbest fucking thing someone could ever say.
Wow.
Oh, hey, look at that. It's a smoking gun. It's a smoking gun, everybody.
But like, here's my problem with it.
And then she dared to announce a tournament on a different day. It's like, so she only had permission to play Fall Guys in a tournament on a specific day? If that day changed for whatever reason, she doesn't have permission anymore?
She had to check with him first.
Yeah. Also, so here's the thing, right? This is about the infamous cover video. Right?
Yeah, right here.
So we see here, she sends a message with the full thing saying, somebody check this over. They show somebody from management. I apologize for the late reply. Since this included X-Livers, it will cause more time for me to get confirmation. The audio is okay. So why is this released before we got confirmation? The video is set to private until I get confirmation. There's a chance that you might need to adjust it before setting it to public again. Please post before you post anything to explain it, please confirm with me. Then it comes to, Selen sending a tweet, which is management saying, hey, I'm sorry, but management privated it. Please feel free to re-upload it since a lot of money and effort was done by so many dragoons. I'm really sad that this happened on Christmas, but I hope somehow you guys will still be able to listen to it in some way.
So I do, again, want to cover this here. So again, these screenshots are all taken in Japanese because they're using Japanese localization for time and date.
Yes.
This screenshot is taken in English format, meaning someone in America took it. Meaning that it is not the same person taking all of these screenshots. So them pointing and going, look, see, Selen on 12:55 posted this in America at 12:55. She posted that. In Japan at 12:36, they posted this. Those are two different time zones. And if you were taking this screenshot from your time zone, you're taking all of these other screenshots from, I'm almost positive it wouldn't say 12:55 p.m.
Nah.
But that's a different thing here. So, A, there you go. Congratulations, you shot yourself in the foot. Anyway. This culminated in her tweet following the privatization of her final song, which is misleading in that she fails to explain why management privated it. Screenshots from the manager on Elria's channel show that cover was not permanently taken down as implied, but she failed to get final approval before its upload on Christmas Day and would need to private it only until these checks finished. Telling her fans to instead re-upload this on their own channels was likely an impulsive reaction to feeling frustrated and let down, but this has ramifications for what is allowed within Japanese corporation that is heavily restricted on anything that could lead to copyright infringement. Restrictive? Arguably, yes, but a known fact that every single liver who releases covers, original songs, anything, has to abide to. These vigorous checking process is not even limited to Niji Sanji, but other major corporations. Many people have blamed the company for not checking with Selen in the 1+ years she was working on this cover, or repeatedly state that the song creator gave express permission for Selen to cover the song. This isn't the problem. The screenshots show the manager saying the audio is okay to me. It's the final check on visuals that needed additional time.
Visuals that should have been long since already approved, being that they are visuals and audio is way fucking easier to edit last second than reanimate an entire 5-minute video.
Fun fact, right? Let's take a slight little break here. When people are making things like animated films, the reason you sometimes get animated films that are flops and seem like they have insane disjointed stories is because the script has changed 7 or 8 times. But they have scenes that you're like, why is this scene here? Because the scene's already been made. The scenes are made years in advance.
Yeah.
Audio is the last thing that gets done in these.
Yeah.
Because guess what? It takes thousands of hours. I don't want to think about the staggering number of hours that went into something like the Super Mario movie, right?
Right, exactly.
Like,
too many.
The terrifying amount of hours that went into something like that. Right? There's what? Call it 10 hours of audio between all the recording that's been done and stuff that's been cut and reshot.
Which is being
and
very
right?
generous.
Right?
Yes.
That's on the high. That's going to be on the high side, right? And then
Well,
good proper audio engineering, call that 60 hours. Because proper audio engineering takes a shit ton of time.
It is insane. I've had to do it before.
It takes too much time. It takes too much time. Let's be real.
There's a reason why I said, fuck it, we're going live for this podcast. And we didn't do some sort of pre-scripted recording. We tried that with fucking video games. I was like, holy shit, fuck this. We're going live. Whatever mistakes happen,
they happen.
I think I would have killed you if you'd expected me to somehow edit this level of shenanigans.
I didn't.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I assumed I would be doing it, which is why I said, fuck it, we're doing it live.
Right. But all of that is suffice to say for us to go, hey guys, it takes a long time to do that. visuals are the first thing that's going to be done
Yeah.
because you get your visuals. Well, usually you'll get your key visuals so that you can start framing and scripting and setting some stuff up.
Yeah, the first thing you would do is a storyboard where basically it's a bunch of fucking stick figures and you say they're going to be positioned like this, you know, during this part of the song, these lines
Do
are going to play,
XYZ.
these effects play. And
then you start getting key animations in, right? The money shots.
But point being,
quite literally,
is that the ex-livers who are not supposed to, air quotes, supposed to be in the video, they would have known about those livers being in that video for literally nearly, I would say, good 10, 11 months of that year-long development time.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on, because that's just stupid.
Yes.
Selen has contributed immensely, and no one denies this, but her repeated behaviors and failure to change this in response to clear warnings from Niji Sanji over the last 2 years suggest she is not suited for a corporate environment, which contributed to her declining mental state. Oh boy, that's
no
way!
No!
What?
Yes.
What?
Which likely contributed to her declining mental state.
They didn't do it. I swear to God, you did not just say that.
I did. Look, it's right there on stream, folks.
Failure to bow to the Japanese is a clear contribution to her declining mental state.
Wow.
Anyway,
Oh
Any
my
Color's
fucking
termination
God.
statement for Selen states that she demanded that Any Color should be legally responsible. She claims that she was being harassed by other affiliated livers due
False.
to mismanagement, and that should
Which they admitted.
negotiations fell through, she would proceed to release a statement regarding her claims to the public.
Quite
Selen states
literally,
the-
she did not do that, and that is entirely fan fiction.
Selen states her lawyer sent this document to Any Color before her termination, written, according to Doki's Twitter, during my darkest time mentally, and that the document as it was written wasn't going to be released anywhere. Nijisanji EN and some of its livers state that this document contained harmful false information, personal information, and a non-consensual audio recording of a conversation between Selen and Vox Akuma intended to prove favoritism within the company, which Selen admits was included but claims it was a distribution test, where Vox sees it as a breach of trust. It's plausible this document was interpreted as a threat, confirmed Selen's breakage of activity rules, or something else entirely. Whatever the case, it seems to be the straw that broke the camel's back. People who believe Any Color is truly an evil company will easily write off the termination statement as full of lies, but I implore you to reread it from a more neutral standpoint.
We'll cover
While
it.
Nijisanji clearly lacks in the PR department at a base level, the statement denies the bullying claims, says
No, they
that she was
don't.
not terminated to leave immediately.
No, it
gives her
don't.
a
She
chance to
was.
stay with the company as long as she admits she broke the rules and corrects the final tweet, and clearly outlines which actions led to termination, and 4 states that legal
No, they
action was
didn't.
initiated by Selen.
I love how it says non-consensual thing, and ignoring that Canadian laws
Is a
it was
one-party
consensual
state.
by Selen's side.
Yeah. Selen, in turn, as Doki Bird states that she will not be silenced anymore, and that she was hospitalized for an attempt that was caused by a built-up of bullying from within and being in a toxic and poor environment.
See, the very funny thing here is that they are so eager to provide source links to so many statements throughout their entire time, except for this section.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is my favorite part.
Oh no.
Sneaky. We're gonna roll out the most classic of logical fallacies: appeal to authority.
Yes. Yep.
Oh no.
What I find difficult to understand is that if Selen has definitive proof of months of bullying from management and coworkers, why Nijisanji EN is so adamant in denying these claims after an internal investigation. I've seen many comments claiming Any Color is breaching non-disclosure agreements, that Selen can sue them as a result, and so on. But this is a major corporation.
Hold up.
That
Let me cover the actual Nijisanji statement.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Let me pull that up here, and we'll open these images in new windows so we can actually fucking read them, because of course the person who posted this absolute garbage ass statement couldn't be fucked to actually post it in a readable fucking format. Okay, so now we've zoomed in and I actually can fucking read what they even posted.
Can you actually link me to that so that I can read along with it?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just there's a bunch of stuff on stream.
Yes, I know. Here you go.
I still love that. They investigated themselves. What more do you want?
Yeah, we investigated ourselves and found ourselves not legally liable.
The man with the bloody knife and bloody handprints.
Yep.
Says he didn't kill the person. Why don't you believe him?
Guys, the evil corporation said that it's not an evil corporation. Why don't you believe them?
They investigated themselves. So anyway, I'll read this. We'll get it through fast.
Yeah.
We sincerely appreciate blah blah blah. Regret to say Sellen's being trans. Fucking blah blah blah. Okay, so rules for affiliated livers. We have rules for our livers. These are rules that are rules, and they prevent infringement on the rules and stuff like that. And no one really fucking cares because we actually don't tell anyone what our rules are beyond they're not allowed to break the law. And also not allowed to do socially condemned behaviors.
I want to point out a really important one here. Leakage of confidential information belonging to any color or third parties. Damage to the reputation or credibility of third parties.
Yeah. It's essential for our company and our employees to adhere to the compliance with these rules. Anyway, so
all right, now this is an important one, and I'm going to this is actually important. I'm going to read this more or less verbatim. Despite our effort to uphold these rules, Selen Tatsuki has repeatedly violated the activity rules since joining in July 2021. Actions in violation of the rules encompass a wide range of issues, such as non-compliance with rights confirmations and authorizations flows, which could potentially lead to infringement of third parties' rights, including copyrights. This violation also included unauthorized usage of works and assets belonging to others affiliated with any color, disregarding the intentions of the parties, as well as a lack of communication with these creators, resulting in delays in Tatsuki's commission payments to creators. Furthermore, there have been ongoing reports about inappropriate behavior by her throughout her time as a Nijisanji EN liver. We've been addressing these concerns as they arise. As a company, we recognize that violation of the rules could damage the trust. Why the fuck can't I talk?
You all right there, buddy?
Could damage
I think you're getting brain damage from just having to read
I was
want me
taking
to
sand
cover
damage. No, we are aware that such violations jeopardize the ongoing activities of other livers affiliated with us. Furthermore, we had consistently issued warnings to her each time that there was a violation. She repeatedly disregarded the warnings, failing to reciprocate communication with her managers. Additionally, Selen has posted false or misleading information on social media, insinuating that violations of the activity rules were due to mismanagement by any color. In May of 2023, we sent a notice stating that any further violation of the rules or engaging in false or misleading statements that could damage our company's reputation would result in the termination of our affiliation contract. She continued to violate the activity rules.
So this is an important thing here. Is they never actually point to what rules she violated or what part of them she violated. They say, oh, these are the events that led to it. They just say,
they say that she broke the flow guidelines, but they don't specify what any of that is. Now, I'm sure the defense of Strawman McStrawman writing this whole post is, there was just so many examples. How could they pick just one?
Well, you just need
that's
one.
What a fucking lawyer is for.
Well, not like that. It's all you need to do is present one.
Yeah. Events leading to suspension of their activities. All times are in JST. Amidst the aforementioned circumstances, on December 26, 2023, Selen posted a music video on the
You want me to read this faster?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. YouTube channel. So anyway, she posted the video. The materials for the music video was shared for the first time with our management on December 24th. This is factually, hands down, false as fuck. The reason why it's false as fuck, she would have never gotten approval until this point otherwise.
Yeah. Since some elements lack proper authorization, on December 25th, we said, hey, you need to hold up.
Despite this, she posted it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so our immediate response was to make the video private until all authorizations were confirmed on our end. Again, the authorization they're talking about in this contract here specifically is the authorization from any color to use any color's properties for an any color project. As they've already established previously that Selen Tatsuki, the copyright of Selen Tatsuki, belongs to any color, which means that any other liver also belongs to any color, which means that if Selen Tatsuki is posting a video by Selen Tatsuki for the company Any Color, she would reasonably be able to post a video including other properties of Any Color. And Any Color wouldn't have to check with Any Color if they're allowed to use Any Color's works. Because
in an effort to calm the situation, they publicly disclosed a bunch of information or wanted Selen to disclose it. While being mindful of her physical and mental health, management did their best to communicate not only with her, but also her emergency contact. Despite frequent communication with the emergency contact while remaining considerate of the situation, they were unable to come to an agreement on how to proceed. The decision was made to temporarily remove her access to the accounts on social media platforms and video distribution services under the name of Selen.
So this is another important part. They admit to harassing her in the hospital while she was in the hospital. Yeah.
I was gonna say right. They don't say it, but they say the quiet. They say the quiet part out loud, where we were trying to get in contact with her while she was in the hospital and her emergency contact. Now, there's nothing wrong with contacting the emergency contact. However, there is a point where continuing to try to get a hold of the emergency contact does go from.
Also, on top of that, the reason why they expressed why they were trying to get in contact with the emergency contact was to make Selen make a statement for them saying that she was wrong and they were right.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
that is considered harassment no matter what, because you're not trying to contact them about her health status. You're trying to contact them to go, hey, I know you're on an IV drip, doped up on drugs right now, but you need to go on Twitter and say, I'm wrong, they were right. That's not allowed.
After attempting to address the problem and communicating with legal counsel, we conveyed that she needed to tell the truth about our decisions to make the music video private.
The truth,
The truth.
Yes.
They can't handle the truth, clearly.
Additionally, we expressed their expectation for future compliance with the activity rules from there on. Despite that, demanded that any color should be held legally responsible. She claimed that she wasn't able to engage in her activities due to the decisions made by any color, was being harassed by other livers because of mismanagement, while refusing to acknowledge her responsibility for violating the activity rules. Moreover, she insisted that if the negotiations did not progress, she would release a statement regarding her claims to the public. So, again, just to be sure, I didn't read any of the original stuff, but she never said anything about being harassed, right? This is the first time that's mentioned.
No, so her statement is right here. So her statement is, I will not be silenced anymore. On December, I was hospitalized for an attempt on my life that was caused by a build-up of bullying from within the company and being in a toxic and poor environment to work for numerous months that led to a breaking point. I requested to leave on more neutral terms on 26th of January, but was denied.
Well, no, it's just I requested to leave first, but on more neutral terms.
But obviously she was denied.
Yes, but anyway, Any Color believes that the claims that she's referring to these situations arose when she was warned about her breaches and attempts to shift the responsibility for these violations, damaging Any Color and Nijisanji Ien's images.
They bullied me to suicide, and now they're...
Yeah, this led to the deterioration of the relationship between her, Any Colors, and the livers affiliated with Any Color. Any Color believes that we and the other livers under the affiliation have not engaged in unjust practices. Considering the irreparable damage to the reputation and the threat of ongoing activities of other affiliated livers, we regrettably concluded that the termination of the contract was unavoidable. Since becoming a part in July 21st, she's undoubtedly played a significant role in the thing growing. We understand that our decision to terminate this will have a significant impact on the fans and supporters. However, ensuring responsible content creation, blah, 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 listen to the rules, do what we say. It's deep regret that we part ways. We couldn't reach an agreement. We would like to ask for the understanding of the fans, blah, blah, blah. As of today,
all her shit will be closed, blah, blah, blah. Revenue.
Membership will be closed, yada, da, da, da. Pursue activities, we'll pursue their activities with Rosemi and Petra.
Yep.
We thank everyone who supported her and apologize for any inconvenience. We request your continued support for all blah blah blah.
So
blah, blah,
another
blah.
little amusing little bit here is they only mentioned 2 names for the group. Each group debuts with 5 or 6 people. There's only 2 left. Of the group that debuted in July of 2021, there is only 2 left.
Yeah.
All
right. So we've covered Selen's statement.
Yeah. So Selen's statement was, "I won't be silenced anymore. I tried to leave. They bullied me to suicide." All of that's completely reasonable to go to the company and say, "You tried to bully me into committing suicide. Fuck you."
I don't know anyone that would say otherwise.
That's pretty
anyway.
reasonable.
So
Because it wasn't you tried to bully me, I'm gonna sue you. It was fuck you for making me do that.
Yeah. She at no point said publicly again. So all of the statements.
At no point was a public legal threat made.
Yes, no public legal threat was made. And a majority of all the things that air quotes Selen said is in the Niji Sanji document that has no citations beyond "I saw in a dream, believe me, bro."
I desperately
bro.
I really hope Selen is as pissed as she seems about this, because I want to be really careful here.
Well, I mean, considering the fact that she ended one of her streams 10 minutes into it to go talk to her lawyers.
I'm just saying, because here's the thing. Cover is definitely in damage control, and what any...
Niji Sanji, but yeah.
Cover. Not Cover.
Cover is fine. Cover is fine.
Niji Sanji is obviously in damage control mode, and what do big corporations do in damage control mode? They settle with the explicit thing of we're not saying we're wrong, but we are giving you a pile of money to not talk about it, right? I hope she doesn't take it. Here's the thing. She could definitely get more money out of a settlement, but she seems to be doing fine. So I definitely hope that she takes this all the way.
Well,
all the way.
She did make a Twitter post after the most recent bullshit from Niji Sanji, where she said that I wanted to move on, but if you guys want to stay here, you'll be hearing from my legal team.
Fabulous. Anyway, this point 4 of this idiot straw man. Legal details aside, practically all the remaining 32 livers have shown explicit support towards the video statement made by someone.
Alira, the girl that is the architect of the bullying.
Alira, Vox, and Ike, refuting claims of harassment, showing evidence of her breaching the activity rules, and expressing shock at the legal documents, which they shouldn't have been.
The legal documents, which they should have never seen. Yeah.
A major claim is that management forced this support and this statement, and the livers are puppets to the corporation who were forced at gunpoint to betray Selen in a last-ditch effort to rebuild public image. Ren states that's not true here, yet people continue to go to stream links to construct a bizarre conspiracy theory about the use of Dipmish atmospheres and
so they say Ren deconstructs this and he destroys this narrative, except the source of this is someone going, "Did you write this tweet telling everyone to go watch this video? It's very important." And Ren's massive deconstruction of this narrative is, "Yes, I wrote the tweet.
Please don't kill me, Niji Sanji."
That's it. That's literally it. Yes, I wrote the tweet. Don't
Once
assume
again,
I didn't.
The livers are infantilized, deemed powerless in the clutches of the big, bad, evil company, or manipulated into hating Selen with cherry-picked information from these documents. This is deemed as the charitable interpretation. Otherwise, they must be terrible people who betrayed her for a quick buck.
Well,
in reality, these are all adults. They have repeatedly been able to express their disapproval of the company action and solidarity with ex-livers on Twitter and in their streams. It seems disingenuous to reduce their own statements in this way in the face of documents they claim contain falsities, doxable information, and audio recordings. The statements were read from a script. The statements were read from a script, as they said at the beginning of the stream. They ran what they wanted to say past the lawyers first to ensure no legal trouble.
Jesus
Christ. A liar agreeing to have often intense hate and harassment. Was it smart to allow them to make a statement on the channel? Debatable, but perhaps they did not want to be silenced. The Niji Sanji EN branch has been deemed harassers that perpetuate a toxic work environment and put in their place. If these allegations are not what Selen made them out to be, this was their chance to share their views on the matter directly by affecting the ability to continue their job. Bear in mind, Ike and Vox were two of her closest friends within the company prior to this. Okay, so let's just break down the single biggest and most important problem.
They went to the lawyers to make sure that them sharing docs illegally was legally fine.
No. That's not even what I'm talking about. There's a much bigger, subtler underlying problem in here, and part of it contains the appeal to authority and the appeal to sense, right? Stating that, everyone is saying she wasn't bullied, and these people were her friends in the company. Completely ignoring the fact that some of the most common instances of bullying and workplace harassment are explicitly targeted at one person. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm about to give Wildbow some credit for realistic writing.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that
causes
that
me
has to
physical
hurt.
pain. However,
has to
his
actually
depiction
hurt.
of someone being the central target for bullying in a school is not just realistic and accurate, it's based on real life. It's how this happens.
Yes.
It's entirely possible that one person, in this case Selin, was absolutely dumpstered by a couple of important and powerful people in the company, and everybody jumped on the bandwagon because if you didn't, you were then a target. That is a really, really common thing at work.
Well, yeah, it's not only that. It's like, so this was a very frequent thing of, you know, I'm going to use my personal experience in school. I had friends in school, but they were school friends. And you know why they were school friends? It's because the second that any confrontation happened where it was time to bully Sneaky, they suddenly weren't my friends anymore. And then when the bullying of Sneaky was done, oh, they're back being my friends again.
And guess what? You'll still take those friends
because you had no one fucking else. Yeah.
Well, A, because you had no one else, and guess what? If you're in a situation where you're alone and you have fair weather friends, well, I'll still take the fair weather friends.
Yes.
Over being alone.
Yeah, exactly. And so especially if you're inside a international company where you don't get to really interact with people on a physical basis. So it's not like you get to spend time eating with them and talking with them. It's all through a screen in a very filtered, monitored environment where everything you say might end up in a fucking expose Discord tweet. So, clearly, a little bit of stress there. And on top of that, well, you can fake emotion all you want through text. Oh, I feel really bad for you. We're such good friends, aren't we? I'm always there for you. And you don't have to ever fucking enunciate any of that. You can just fucking type that whole paragraph out.
Throw in some cute emojis and gifs.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And you shared some memes. Meanwhile, oh, wow, we're best friends, yeah. Meanwhile I want to fuck this bitch, you know, kill her.
Fuck them. They're sending messages, right? They're fucking hitting tab and flipping between channels. Fuck this motherfucker whiny
Look
ass
what they just said. Copy, paste, copy, paste. Look at that. Fuck this bitch. She thinks she's better than us. Yeah.
By the way, I want to point out how meanwhile you have the folks that you have the employees of Cover regularly screenshotting Discord and throwing shade at each other.
Yes.
And doing things like, God damn, Marine's such a pervert. Look at this shit she showed me.
On top of that, that's also management constantly talking with certain livers when they get very depressed and sad, and doing health checks on them.
Everything that's happening with Mume.
Yeah.
Anyway, over the last few days, Doki has repeatedly stated she wants to move on and wants new beginnings. Now that she has a massive following of people, some fans, lots of people were sucked into the drama and wants to support the victim of an evil company, blah, blah, blah. Yet now, following detailed responses, she appears taken aback by the fact that the livers have found out about legal documents. She wants to move on and back out of a legal environment. Please don't make it like
she doesn't want to back out of legal involvement. She's actually going forward with legal involvement, and she was taken aback by the fact that her personal legal documents, which are covered by an NDA and court order, were being shared with people not on the legal team. Yes, anyone would be taken aback by this occurring.
Yes.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
Anyway. Don't make it like high school. Treat everyone like adults with empathy and kindness, and that she wouldn't release receipts or private documents. The problem it's come to is that people are using her name, and it causes to both infantilize and to be livers while spamming their tags and chat with hatred, conspiracy theories, and doxing photos. If these individuals in the company that harassed her, all the innocent people are suffering because no clarification on the bullying claim has been provided. Hang on a minute. What happened to you saying they vigorously denied it, and you believe them?
Well, you see, now, well, this is also, I don't know if there's an actual term for this fallacy, but they're using the fan fallacy of, oh, well, people saying her name are harassing people now, which means she's the one doing it. It's like, no.
No.
You know,
honestly, I think this
not
person
how that
just
works.
happy this wasn't the Pikami Space Marine Chapter 2.0.
Oh, right, pretty much. Yeah, we're peeking me fucking slinked away. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
like it could have been worse.
Turns out, trying to pick a fight with a spunky girl next door tomboy is a completely different result than a heavily bullied Japanese girl.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah. Anyway, and B, arguably, Selen went multiple days of silence on the matter before throwing out a single "don't harass anyone" in her return stream. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Let me point out some contradictions based off statements given by both parties. Selen wants to move on, but stated that she initially hired lawyers and threatened to go public with claims backed by her legal documents. Now she claims the document would never go public.
Okay, well, first off, it's just like, hold up there. She didn't hire lawyers and then threaten anything. She had lawyers. Niji Sanji themselves said they contacted her legal team.
Yeah. Selen claims Vox's voice recording was not malicious and instead accidentally included. How then did a random recording from over a year ago appear in a legal document sent to Any Color? Why did neither she nor her lawyers notice if it was an accident? And how does Vox know of its general content and reason for inclusion? I don't know. That's a question for Vox.
I mean, it's quite easy. I mean, fucking, like, hell, just look at your fucking file explorer. Look at your downloads folder. You're like, oh, yeah, this is all the stuff I was saving about being bullied. Oh, yeah, accidentally, that inside that downloads folder, I also had downloaded at some point, a picture of the blueprints of Notre Dame. Why did you send us the blueprints of Notre Dame? Oh, whoops, sorry, my bad. I kind of just selected all.
Like, no offense, but, like, have you not been on any of the stories on Reddit about, oops, I sent my professor porn?
Right, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah,
all the time.
I had this document right here, the porn was right next to it, I misclicked one tab down, and I sent him porn. Fuck, yeah, it's very common to accidentally, especially when you're sending, like, pages of legal documents and sources and pictures and videos and recordings.
I'm so sorry. Those schematics were for the War Thunder forum.
Right. Yeah. Well, yes, but you know, but you know, quite literally though, it's like you're sending a bunch of documentation of, hey, we're accusing you of this. Here's the discovery of all the stuff. You know, do you have a legal response to this?
Yeah.
And then in that giant stack of shit you sent, there was this one audio recording.
What even is this recording, by the way?
I don't know. No one knows besides
I've
us.
heard what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's it was them talking about a collaboration, is what I've heard.
Okay.
And it was completely innocent, nothing to do with anything. I want to say it was about the Mario Kart thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it was just completely incidental. A complete oops. Misclick. Sorry, didn't mean to send that.
Right, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, quite literally it's... She probably recorded... You know what she probably did? I'm gonna fucking make up some fan fiction of my own here. She's probably talking to him. She's probably, like, going into the conversation with, alright, we're gonna talk about this collab. I'm gonna record the conversation so I can know exactly what we talked about. Because some people are like that. And then she recorded the conversation. She put it in her, you know, fucking videos folder or whatever. Oh, I'll organize it later. And then all of the bullying audio recordings, she just selected all and sent it and was like, oh shit, I accidentally sent that video where I was fucking talking with Vox about a collab. Like, that's...
Oh, also, she had asked him for permission to record and he said okay. So she had his permission. She didn't need it, but she had it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Of course.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
I can't wait. If the court records ever get out, it's gonna be so juicy to see.
Oh, I mean, the second I go public, it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
But let's get to one of the most important things here.
To preface this part here, I'm going to read this out. So to preface this is before Selen became Selen, she was Doki Bird. And when she was Doki Bird originally, she had a Twitter bio that included, I have BPD. Please excuse me.
Huh?
Bipolar personality.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, she has that. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, so it's that was on her public Twitter bio. So if you hire someone with BPD, you really have a position to be like, I am shocked she sent me extreme messages and then moved on seconds later.
Now, to be fair, as we've said on the show before, it's not acceptable and it's not excusable, but you really can't be too surprised.
Yeah. It's like hiring someone with Tourette's, and then they do the Tourette's thing, and you're like, I am shocked that you performed this action. It's like...
That's not acceptable in a business environment, anyway. But anyway.
Oh, no!
Has gotten too heated in the moment and sent messages to her manager so extreme that her own friends have questioned her decisions. Source here.
Yeah, I'll go check the source out. Keep reading.
Oh, it's a fucking no, it's a YouTube thing.
Yeah, Selen has a heated situation with her manager in the past. Okay.
I can't imagine why.
It's 9 months ago. Anyway. I bring this up
is
because...
is that why everyone's making fun of her fucking neck?
I guess.
Why is that so long?
I don't know. I bring this up first because she claims to be completely innocent, a victim of management. Yet once Ninja Sanji... I'm reading potato chips. Fuck off. Yet once Ninja Sanji EN releases screenshots of the conversation with her manager that disprove her claims about the music video, she backs down. People have criticized the screenshots for not containing replies. Why does Selen not bring forth of her proof of her mistreatment once and for all? Because that's fucking stupid when you're in a legal case and she has a competent legal team.
Yeah.
Like, this is not some gotcha. If anything, this is lending credence to the fact that she has smoking guns and isn't putting it out.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. This is all these people fucking just do not understand about legal cases. Oh, well, if he's innocent, why doesn't he just prove it? Oh, if he's guilty, why doesn't he just prove it? It's like, we are. It's called a court system where we go to court and follow laws.
That sounds...
Yes, but why didn't you do it in the court of public opinion?
Because the court of public opinion can get fucking lynched.
Yes. That's what they do.
But they want to lynch you. That's the point.
Yes, and I am the armed sheep that's disagreeing.
Why didn't you disagree with us on the public forum so we could lynch you publicly? What's wrong with you?
I think one of my favorite things is how I'm going to bring up Mr. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Oh, yes,
yes. Right.
Now, careful with that.
No, this is important.
No, don't be careful. Say it.
Well, first of all, they're
Speak
both
your
assholes.
Truth.
First of all, they're both assholes.
Yeah, well,
that's what we got out of that legal case.
Yes.
But one of the most important things
funny.
in there...
I got out that a dog stepped on a bee.
One of the most important things in there was that Johnny Depp had a lot of damning evidence proving that Amber Heard was a liar.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, he did not win his court case, right? But what he did win was that she had to admit she was a liar and put out statements to that effect.
No, didn't she have to pay off a shit ton of money?
I don't know what she did or didn't have to pay off. What I do, right? But what we do know is she had to admit to things that she lied about and admit to the truth of his statements. And that's really important because guess what? That flipped the entire thing of public opinion. And nobody knew about all that stuff Johnny was saying before. He did what a smart person did and brought it all up in court. And guess what? When the truth came out, boy, did public opinion change.
Yes. Yeah, man, I mean,
what I mean by that here is smart people don't let themselves get caught up in the moment. If they have a even halfway competent legal team, that legal team will say, look, I get it. It sucks. Bite the leather. Grin and bear it.
Yeah, that's the other thing, though, is if you post proof, if you say, get death threats by someone on, say, Discord, and you're working with this person, you take a screenshot of it, you don't post it to Twitter for clicks, and you put it in a folder. And then they send you the next death threat, you take a screenshot of it and you put it in the folder. And you just keep doing that, because when your enemy is making a mistake, you don't correct them. You don't go out on Twitter and say, hey guys, look at all of these dumb mistakes they're making.
In fact, Sneaky, how will be social media famous then?
Exactly. Oh, boy, I don't know. But here's the other big thing that's really important. In fact, you don't say anything because you have screenshots, but screenshots can be fabricated. The best part is you have a screenshot, and then what happens is, now luckily Discord does keep record that messages were deleted.
And edited.
And there's no way to get rid of that message.
Yeah.
But what's important there is that she has things that say timestamp at X point, Y point, Z point. And then here's what happens, right? I'm sure that right now lots of people were, as soon as she said that I have proof of this bullying and harassment, people were frantically deleting bullying and harassing messages from Discord and then going, oh no, oh no, oh no, it says deleted message. But here's the important thing about that. Selen's legal team, Doki's legal team, whatever, comes in and says, we have these screenshots. As part of discovery, we are compelling you to turn over either access to the Discord or provide proof or provide additional supporting evidence for this message, right? That's part of discovery. They are compelling them to do that.
So Phoenix
what they
says...
can do during discovery...
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Sneaky.
So Phoenix says, what's the problem with posting them publicly with timestamps? So the problem is that, as Atin said, the screenshots can be faked. You could, I can open up Discord right now and in web mode, and I can edit the HTML to make it say, with completely unedited view. It doesn't say edited next to it at all. And Sign actually went on a limb and said all these things about all these people, and that
and Sign said that he finished his commission.
Yeah, that too. And Sign said he kills babies regularly and hides them in his basement. See, I have a Discord screenshot of him saying it. You can edit those quite easily, and
not just that,
and not photo edit.
You have
Let's be clear
even
here.
A modicum of effort and time. I could take the picture that Sneaky has as a profile picture.
Yes.
And I could copy that, and I could go and make a Discord account in a public library or something.
Yeah.
Put in a flash drive, load the image of Sneaky's thing, and then I could have, Sneaky Devil number 2334, whatever the number ends up being. I could have him friend me and message me, and then I could have that account send messages of kill yourself, fuck you.
Yeah. Not only that has actually been done in the past.
Right, but that's my point.
That's
been done. People have done it with Facebook. They've done it with Twitter. It's not hard to do.
Yeah.
However,
so the thing is why you don't go public with these is quite literally it comes down to don't correct an enemy when they're making a mistake. If they think they're getting to you, they're going to become more bold with what they do. If they're making the mistake of sending you messages that trace back directly to them through a non-anonymous account, they are eventually going to do more. And when they finally do more, when they finally do something actually genuinely actionable, like get into a voice call with you and start saying shit to you, before the year of 2022, this could be considered evidence. They start saying shit to you, then you can be like, well, here's what they said to me in a voice call. Here's all of these messages they also sent to me. And then that goes, okay, normally we can't believe your messages, but you have a voice call of them saying it, and then a bunch of screenshots of them also saying it. And then...
Well, no, but the important thing here about taking those screenshots is the screenshots are not admissible as evidence. However, what they can be used for is compelling discovery. And by that, I mean...
True, yes.
The lawyer goes and says, my client says XYZ happened, and it happened on these accounts that you have access to. Either prove by showing messages from the time and date where it is.
Right, exactly. And if you deleted them, it'll show a bunch of deleted messages on one side, but all of it's matching the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's important, one other thing, wouldn't a question of did you post these messages line of questions just prove that? Risk perjury if they lie.
It's quite easy.
The issue here...
I don't remember.
First of all...
I don't remember.
First of all,
maybe.
It is...
I don't know.
Right? You see it from every politician all the time. It doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or some no-name person in Congress you've never heard of. I don't recall. I don't remember.
It's been a long time. Sure. I don't think so.
Yeah. And Now you might say, oh, but this is a private account. It's not. It's a corporate account that, as this person says in their own little rant up here,
yeah,
Ninja Sanji can take it away from them at any point, or an account can be compromised. Now, of course, if she has a sustained and repeated trove of images of death threats and stuff, you can't go, oh, it was hacked every time. But people will say shit like that. So having the messages and then using them to compel discovery is the most important part. And leading it all back to what Sneaky said, you don't stop your enemy from making a mistake.
So, all right, two things. First of all, as to what Atin was saying about the discovery, all right, you can skip all of that. You can try to get the messages from them, and they'll say, no, I don't know, I don't remember, I don't have them, I seem to have lost them, what the fuck ever, right? You can just go and say, okay, well, I'm going to subpoena Discord themselves, and in about 90% of cases, they will go, okay, yeah. Sure. Here you go.
Well, no. I know they can subpoena Discord, but generally, you the way it starts, you start with discovery, and it's actually really important because you just said they'll waste time and fob it off. It's actually really, really important and great for selling to go through the motions of that.
Yeah.
Because then you don't just have a smoking gun. You also have a smoking gun that the other guy refused to cooperate with proper legal procedure for.
Yeah, exactly. And then, it becomes a public theater and
malicious action.
Yeah. Not only does it of course guarantee more make it more likely that she can do things like get her lawyer fees covered by it, but it's also great because, again, every civil case, and this is a civil case, comes down to there are two types of fines in civil cases. There are compensatory damages, right? An example of compensatory, she paid $200,000 out of pocket to get stuff done that they refused to pay. Paying that back is compensatory. They have to do it because they wronged her. They need to make it right.
Yep.
But then you have the other part of damages. I forget what the exact term is, but
yeah, punitive.
Well,
there's punitive damages, and there's also not recompensation, but effectively
reimbursement.
Reimbursement, yeah.
Yeah, that all falls under compensatory damages.
Okay, punitive is separate from compensation.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. There's two damages. There's compensation, which is XYZ occurred, they were wronged, it is worth Y dollars, they need to be paid Y dollars.
Right.
Punitive damages is when someone else, namely the court or the jury, says, wow, they really wronged you. We think that the wrongs they did you is worth XYZ dollars. It's there's not a fixed amount to it. It's you are being made to pay above this amount as punishment. You ruined her life. You need to pay her $5 million to fix it, not just $200,000 Canadian because of the expenses she paid out of pocket.
You know, I really miss the old days where you could take the money or you could take the blood.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
So what Sneaky was saying about not interrupting your enemy, there's another reason you don't post this shit publicly once you have logs, other than the fact that it could be faked. If you do that in certain cases, once you put that out there, it stops being admissible as evidence and becomes what's known as hearsay. So, okay, they might have said it, and sure, you've got what might be records, but because you said it, because you opened your fucking mouth, it's now hearsay. It's worthless.
Yeah, exactly. So then, anyway, the person goes on to say for someone who supposedly has damning evidence, it's strange that she suddenly brings up translation difficulties. Well, yes, because the thing is, so what a toxic work environment is in the United States and what a toxic work environment in Japan is very different, author. And some words that a manager might say in Japan of, you're not leaving until you finish this document, I don't care if it takes you all night. That might be considered fine in Japan. But if you said the same thing in America, your ass would be so much grass.
Oh, yeah.
So, trying to communicate this to the Japanese will involve translation difficulties, because you have to communicate a social barrier of, well, you know, Selen says it's a toxic environment because her manager told her to get on her knees and suck his dick. And the Japanese go, yeah, what's wrong with that? Okay,
Sounds like a great dodging.
You know, see, that's the problem, is that you have to communicate why she felt that was toxic to people who feel the initial statement wasn't toxic. And so you have to translate that in a way that will make the other party understand what you're trying to say. And that gets very difficult because Japanese culture and language is very different from American culture and language, because she does use English as first language, so I'm going to say American culture and language.
Also, if you've got somebody in the middle as a go-between who's acting as a bad actor, well, you're pretty much fucked anyway.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Which, Vox's statement, so if we're going to take Vox's statement in the best light possible of the legal team showed us these documents, likely happened is, if Illyra is truly the translator between EN and JP, is the lawyers of JP said, hey, these EN lawyers want to talk to us about these documents, can you translate them for us? Here's the documents. And then Vox goes, they showed us the...
She shouldn't have touched them.
Well, exactly, but, you know...
Yeah.
JP law is a lot of, we're going to do everything in our power to do as much illegal shit as possible, and it's only illegal if we get caught.
Yeah.
Not to mention that women are treated as lesser compared to North America? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, her complaining about management saying that she needs to work a 20-hour day comes off a little bit different here than in Japan. Yeah. And her getting constant comments from management about how she's doing everything wrong and she's such a fuck up might be considered completely normal to them. A little bit different here. But again, we don't know what exactly happened. We don't know what exactly was said because she has to keep all of this confidential until the court case can go public. If it ever goes public. The author comes in and says, the documents I sent to the other lawyers were never supposed to be shown to anyone else. This is from Doki. And then Doki goes on to say, it makes me wonder if my medical and hospital records were also released without my consent. And then she later on, an hour later, says, I'm currently talking to my lawyer, and thankfully it was not. The first post author, well, according to her lawyers talking to their lawyers.
So we don't know.
So
yeah, their lawyers know.
Point being, though,
I can't stress this enough. That's not a backpedal. Yeah, that's an important correction.
Yeah, it's a distinction.
Yeah, the first post is a speculation. They shared documents without my consent. I wonder if that means other documents were shared without my consent. Update post. No other documents were shared without my consent.
But here's what's on the documents that were.
Right. Selen makes speculative statements. Yes. You can make speculative statements. I can speculate that you like to fillet yourself with a rusty fork every night. Now, if you want to come forward with proof that you don't do this, I'm all ears.
Yeah, anyway.
No, there is such a thing as damaging material. This is why you have to add allegedly to that if you're making certain statements.
That's why I opened up with I speculate.
Well, no, and in this case, believe it or not, he is actually because U.S. law is super concerned with how people say things and in what context people say things. It's very clear here that Sneaky is making both a hyperbolic statement and B, an illustrative point, which is not to be taken in a serious context.
Oh yeah, but if you were actually saying that about somebody in another context, you would absolutely need to lead with something like,
I speculate the following, yes. And that's exactly what she does here, is it makes me wonder. Yeah. She's not saying it's a fact. She's just saying, I don't know. I have this evidence here. I have one dot on this graph. I'm really concerned that I'm going to see a second dot on this graph that makes a line.
Hey, update. It was just the dot.
Yeah.
The dot's still bad, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. In this time, people took it as a fact that Any Color was breaching an NDA and liable to be sued for leaking health documents, and further cemented their black company claims. This speculation, then backtracking, no matter the intention, is a consistent behavior from Selen. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
The response focuses on how she feels. I made the document, blah, blah, blah. The recording, blah, blah, blah. We all know all this. Last time I will hear or think about the document, and that is my own opinion, was the end of lawyers and legal involvement. Unfortunately, whatever she feels about the situation, it appears to have spiraled out of her control, considering the immense slander
So how is
and
that her fucking fault?
that Any Color and the Livers have experienced as a result.
They're trying to imply it is her fault.
Yeah, I know they're implying it's her fault, but how is that her fault? Oh, well, she made these statements because of how she felt. Well, now it's outside of her control, but yet she's still at fault. It's like fucking...
Yeah,
you said something and somebody else acted on it, so you obviously have to take responsibility for this, even though that's not how the real world works.
No, we actually do have laws specifically pertaining to that, and it's specifically inflammatory language at a targeted level. So basically, if you go up to a priest and you turn to the audience and say, "Oh, won't someone rid me of this priest?" and then someone goes up and stabs the priest, you instigated this. If you go, geez, you know, that priest down the road fucked some kids. I wonder if this priest did too. And then someone goes up and stabs the priest. You can't be held liable for that.
No. Again, it's really important for the U.S. Law how and Canada's free speech laws are largely similar in terms of things like context.
On paper. But legally speaking...
Yes, on paper, legally speaking. Look, my point is there's a decent amount of overlap concerned with who says what, when, context, what's actually said, intent of the statement, all that. Anyway. By the way, I want to point out an important thing here. Just pointing out yet further issues with their whole shit show of a document here. They talk about why are people infantilizing the tubers and their statements, and why are they not being treated as adults, where they are now here using deliberately infantilizing language and dismissing any of Selen's intents and actions.
Also,
unfortunately, whatever she feels about the situation, it's spiraled out of her control.
Yeah.
So,
also on top of all of that, it's, why aren't we treating them as adults? Selen treats the other livers as adults. I can't believe she would torture them like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
it's torture being an adult.
And then here we go. They're attempting to dismiss the appeal to emotion, and they're trying to make it seem like a logical fallacy. But it's not. In this case, she just says, "I'm not perfect and I have my faults. I had to watch my dad cry and break down in front of me." That's not.
Which, let's be clear here, she made this statement after she attempted suicide. So yes, her dad broke down and cried in front of her because she tried to kill herself twice.
Yes.
Yeah, that's...
So that sounds like a normal father.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty normal father reaction.
It seems like good news, confirmation of at least not bottom barrel parenting.
Yeah,
she committed suicide. She tried to commit suicide twice.
Yeah, so
he's witnessing it again. So yeah, it's understandable. He'd be upset.
Anyway, throughout all the statements, Nidhi Sanjay Livers spoke up against her, and Any Color released additional statements. Her stance on the situation has weakened. No, she's gone silent because she's stepped up the legal action and hasn't said anything, because that's what a good lawyer tells you to do.
Her final tweet on the situation is, "I will be talking to my lawyers."
She has clearly given up.
She's clearly given up because she stopped drama tweeting about it.
I don't even know how. Listen. Honestly, some of the people I feel most consistently sorry for are the people who are lawyers employed by Donald Trump, because the man tweets everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, local man cannot stop tweeting.
Even when there are times when, even if you're
Please,
right,
Trump, shut up.
it's
Please
really
stop.
better to not tweet it.
Dude,
Please.
stop. Put the phone down.
This isn't the time for freedom posting, Trump.
There was a fucking meme someone posted of the live video of Niji Sanji's lawyers, and it's just a fucking silhouette of someone who's hung themselves in the apartment.
Oh, yeah, probably. Anyway, blah blah blah. While most survivors affected were her co-workers for over 2 years, the last cup of coffee video, costing $15,000 according to her, seems a dedication to the fan base, but a love song to her times in Niji Sanji, the way that her birthday concert involved many livers dancing and singing with her. It's hard to reconcile these projects that came out days before her attempt, with months and months of harassment she claims to have experienced from the same environment. According to Box, after receiving warning, we'll get there. After receiving warnings due to breaking the rules, she informed the other livers she was about to be terminated, and that she considered graduation multiple times. Leaving the company has always been an option, but she continued to invest huge amounts of money and time in projects in Niji Sanji and planned her future for the upcoming year on stream. Maybe you think I'm being too hard on her.
So,
I have long appreciated. Yeah.
She spent $15,000, apparently USD now, which again, so I was really fucking close again. So one of her top 3 most ambitious projects was $15,000 out of 1,500.
Out of 150K.
That's a. Yeah, sure, yeah. But yeah, anyway. So there's that. So it's like, buddy, most ambitious. 15K. Okay, sure. Secondly,
15K is a large chunk of change.
No, but their point is that they're saying that she spent 200,000 on ambitious project. Like, one of the biggest and most ambitious.
Yeah, it's a race to the finish line, 100-meter race. First person comes in, we don't know their time yet. Second person comes in, we don't know their time yet. Third person comes in, it's 10 minutes. Okay, so if third place was 10 minutes and everything else is less than that, then that means the first 2 had to be the other 90% of what she made that year.
Or
they're fucking wrong.
Said something you shouldn't. Yeah, it's just anyway, right? And then let's take a look at
And then, right here. So yeah, right here. The graduation part is what I want to talk about. So, she received warnings that she was going to. Oh yeah, I was just going to cover this though. So she received warnings that she was breaking multiple rules from management. Selen goes, "Oh shit! I just received multiple warnings from management saying I broke all these rules." Again, keep in mind, at this point in time, she's lost like 2 members of her troop, and then 4 members of the troop that came before the next gen. And no, actually, all 3. Before and after her, they're down to 2 people now. So,
don't forget, reportedly, horrible toxic environment.
Yeah, so she's received multiple warnings. The previous gen and the generation after her have been obliterated. And so she turns to her, air quotes, friends and goes, "Shit, guys, I think I'm going to be graduated. I think I'm going to be fired. Fuck. Should I just leave? Should I leave before it gets worse?" Because that's a completely reasonable thing to do. It's like, oh shit, I'm getting all these warnings. I don't think this relationship is going to end with this company well. Should I just leave on a, air quotes, good note, effectively? Or do I stay here and try and tough it out and maybe, like, turn it around? That's what her mindset was, according to this. Which is a completely normal mindset of, you don't want to make yourself unhireable. You don't want to make Niji Sanji your last job you can ever hold because your name got fucking plastered everywhere as that girl who said, Hail Hitler or something on stream.
Yeah.
Something about Taiwan.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You don't want to become toxic to hire. So you question whether you should leave now while everything is still internal or, try and tough it out.
But anyway.
it's always been an option for her to leave, but she continued to invest huge amounts of money because she probably believed that she had worked out the issues with management and decided to stay, thinking she could continue her progress inside the company.
It was a sunk cost fallacy.
Probably. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that she was right or that it wasn't a sunk cost fallacy. I'm just saying the thought process for it was probably along those lines.
And then I want to bring up the highly problematic thing the person is, like, actually problematic, the dismissal of the complete dismissal of abuse. It's entirely possible for someone to be in an abusive situation and still have good times and good memories. In fact, there's a whole specific coping mechanism about how it's my fault and they promise to be better, but we've had so many fun times.
Ah, yes, beaten wife syndrome.
Yeah, or Stockholm.
Like, that's a thing.
Yes.
It's a
Also
thing.
Stockholm.
It's entirely
Both are a
possible
thing.
for someone to. Right. It's entirely possible.
But we had so many good times.
Guess what? There are a bunch of people who worked at Blizzard, who stayed at Blizzard, even when it was a shithole place owned by Activision, but I made so many great games here. I had so much fun here. And then they eventually left.
All my friends are here.
Because it's not the thing anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, the discussion has, perhaps you think I'm being too hard on her. I have long appreciated her contributions, but in the face of scrutiny placed upon everyone else...
By the way, another logical fallacy.
Yeah. I really love her, guys. I'm on your side, so now agree with me what I say. Who have been harassed over the past 2 weeks by not selling, by other people who looked at the situation and have generated an opinion on the situation and took action on that opinion, which has, in fact, no part of Selin has encouraged any of that. In your own words, she even went live at one point and said, hey guys, don't harass people. So every action she's taken so far has pointed the opposite direction of harassment. You are not allowed to hold her liable at that point of saying she's clearly secretly trying to harass everyone with her secret army.
Well, reminder, the people who do shit like this, the ones who usually accuse people of things are doing those things themselves.
Well, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah. They're desperately trying to cover their ass.
Yeah, so anyway,
yes.
And every single word of theirs has been picked apart. Yes, because when the company you work for, that you are a mouthpiece of, in your own words, author, is proven to lie out their fucking ass, and not just multiple occasions, but consecutive multiple occasions, back to back, in a short period of time. When the other mouthpieces for the company start speaking, it is reasonable to go, are they lying too?
Sneaky.
Yes, I know. Disgusting, ableist, abusive, isms, racist, sexist.
Oh no. The bottom paragraph just above what is the
know.
truth. Oh my god.
I know.
My god.
These are designed to objectify the livers, who we are apparently back to infantilizing again.
Excuse me for a second. I need to express my incoherent rage.
Okay. Thousands of people flock to waiting rooms to call each other based or Niji cringe.
I have expressed my incoherent rage out of the stream.
These are intense, ongoing, well-documented examples of a harassment designed to destroy the lives of those who still stand with Niji. Okay, so let's replace the word. Let's replace the word Niji, because we're already gone as far as Poe law. Let's replace the word Niji with the Nazi Party.
Can we not?
No, let's not.
Let's not. Sneaky, I left the chat for a very specific reason.
I know. I'm just saying, you know.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
How dare these people continue to persecute those that support this objectively disgusting company in their view? Yes, that's what you do. You know, we did that to them too. You know, unless you're saying punishing the Nazis were wrong.
Clearly, this person thinks that the Hague was wrong.
Unless you're claiming the Hague was wrong. Yes, we do go after people who continue to be employed by, take money from, and support a company who we view as being morally bankrupt. Yes,
don't you know?
We do that.
They were just following orders.
Yeah, but they were just following orders, Atin. Niji Sanji told them to do it.
Oh God!
I now believe that Zomos did nothing wrong. Destroy all of humanity, please.
Niji is so fucked.
But come on, Sneaky, read the money paragraph.
We're gonna get to it.
Read the money paragraph.
The discussion thus far has been immensely one-sided.
Oh, has it?
The discussion at the Hague so far has been immensely one-sided.
So did you harass Selene, known as Doki Bird, in this corridor here?
And unfortunately for Selene, a vocal majority is on her side. Wait, what? Wait, huh?
No, see, if the vocal majority is on your side, that means you're wrong.
No. A vocal majority on her side.
Not is on her side, just on her side.
Okay. Yeah, the vocal majority on her side reflect the fact that Niji Sanji has long been on the receiving end of the hate train for good reason.
Good reason.
Yeah.
A vocal majority holds with the Nazi Party has been. It's been all along.
Again, if the shoe fits.
Perpetuated by conspiracy narratives.
Oh, come on, no. Perpetuated by 4chan narratives, trauma YouTubers,
and other parties.
Does it actually name drop 4chan?
Yes.
The hacker name is 4chan.
Oh my god. Congratulations, rats, you won.
I'm fucking... The long-existing hate train perpetuated by conspiracy theories against the Nazi Party.
Alright, let's just speed through this.
Yeah. What is the truth? Only Selene and everyone involved will ever know the truth of these events. Please view my statements alongside the previous paragraphs and come to your own conclusions about the real truth. Selene.
If only Selene.
Yeah. Selene.
If only Selene knows the truth, then why the fuck are you commenting?
Because they know the truth too. Because Niji Sanji sent them this information, and she's just following orders.
Yeah, they've long clashed their approaches. Selene took things into her own hands and skipped over bureaucracy, assuming approvals without double-checking, and pushed the boundaries on what's allowed in the corporate VTubing sphere. The company stated how many warnings they gave her over the course of 2.5 years. According to the Rats,
source?
Several members were concerned and reaching out to express their concern. We were genuinely concerned and wanted to understand the situation because we were in the dark about it. Vox adds on that some members, myself included, asked why she tweeted the cover in a way she did, expressing we felt it was unnecessary and harmful. The event was directly referenced by the lawyers as an example of harassment.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I doubt the message were, hey, why'd you do this? It seems more like the messages were, you dumb fucking insert more expletives.
It's funny you say that because Anna publicly posted on her Twitter, you dumb fucking bitch, why did you post it like that?
Wait, really?
No.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that still up?
I don't think so anymore.
Damn.
They
anyway.
probably were just like scrub that and then like actually subscribe to it. I don't know what Anna does. Explain.
Anyway, Vox believes
she's one of
those
manipulated
by
VTubers.
partial truths, omitted context, and blatant lies in a state of anger against the company to the extent he considered graduating with her. They didn't terminate her as a result of the attempt or the response to the cover being privated. They claim it was because she refused to take responsibility, blah, blah, blah. Now, Selen says she never intended to take legal action or have her legal documents be seen by anyone but her lawyer. Those are two very, very,
very different things.
Very different things.
Her statement itself, according to you and according to Niji Sanji, is they contacted her legal team, and Selen said that if you guys didn't fix your shit on your end, I am going to tell everyone the truth. That is not a threat of legal action.
No.
It should be legal action, though.
She should be taking legal action, but
yes.
she is not threatening legal action. She is threatening to take it public.
Yeah, which is very different. But I also want to point out here, this is yet another logical fallacy. They are attempting to connect two unconnected things and equate them to being the same thing.
Exactly.
They're not. Saying she never intended to take legal action is separate from my legal documents shouldn't have been seen by anyone but a lawyer.
And now I must take legal action. A little bit different.
These are wildly different things. Moving on to the next piece of bullshit.
Yeah, so
they blame any color and livers for preventing the continued streaming and perpetuating a toxic environment, victim of harassment.
Oh, no, and you missed it. Oh, no, you covered it. Never mind. You covered it.
No, I did. Yeah. Despite being given multiple opportunities to graduate amicably prior to the build-up and telling others they were planning to graduate, she changed her mind and continued working in the environment. Again, that's Stockholm. Selen spoke negatively of the home situation in a since-deleted twit longer archived here, which details deep financial, physical, and mental pressure. I bring this up because she refers to the family reaction in the most recent statement, and it adds another layer of mental stress to the picture. This is public knowledge, and the link can still be found on the Doki Bird Twitter account. In the twit longer, she talks about how the only thing that's keeping me going is streaming, a statement she has repeated since her termination.
Yes.
Yes.
Because she's work obsessed.
Let's go breeze through this twit longer.
Sure.
Shall we? Life update, blah, blah, blah. Talking about, man, my dad threatened to kick me out.
Okay, so this is, by the way, this is in November 13th of 2020, a year before she was hired on by Niji. Which means, by the way, her back then, she wasn't bringing in money, which means she was a 20-something who wasn't bringing in money, living in her parents' home. My dad threatened to kick me out. Yeah.
He proceeded to get physically abusive. I won't go into details, but it'd be very uncomfortable. For those who don't know, the parents have been living with me for almost a year now. They visited me in Canada from Hong Kong before COVID got serious and have lied about leaving every month. They stayed with me in my one-bedroom apartment where I had to sleep on a small couch for 6 months with no personal space, as the only rooms in my apartment were the bathroom and the bedroom. When my lease was ending, they signed me up for a contract in a day without talking to me, and I was forced to rent a 2-bedroom apartment that I couldn't afford, forcing me dependent on them to help me pay for the rent.
Oh, wow.
That's a whole level of fucked. I've been trying to save up money with the intention of having more freedom without being forced to be dependent. I had 30 in my bank account before he decided he wanted a car in Canada because he was tired of renting one. Came out of the account, all 30 with monthly loan payment of $700 for the next few months. I had no say. They justified it by saying the car's in my name, but I don't drive it and have no intention of driving due to another traumatic experience.
Okay,
every month I ask them if they're leaving.
Hold up. So I'm just going to cover this so far. So basically, so far, her parents have been emotionally manipulative.
Emotionally manipulative.
And she's also Chinese, so keep in mind, she feels a cultural obligation to assist her parents, which means she likely, when they showed up, gave them access to her financial documents, such as a credit card or a direct debit card, that would allow them to draw money out, or possibly even went to the bank and added them as secondaries to the account, which would allow them to draw the money out to, say, purchase a car in her name. So she performed actions. They performed actions. That doesn't mean that her father can't cry upon learning that his only daughter tried to kill herself.
Yeah, like again, it's entirely possible for someone to be an asshole and still care about someone. Like, those are not mutually exclusive
Personality does not control the heart.
Anyway, just continuing along, every time I ask them to leave, and every other month they would give me a date and back off. The day will pass, and I ask again, and they say things, why do you want us to leave? You should be grateful we're here to do everything. Life is easier with us here. Hasn't been easy.
Very Chinese statements.
Yep.
It hasn't been easy. My health is going down, and I can't get professional help for it. I was on a good path before they came back to ruin it. I begged them if they're going to stay with me past 2020, then let me see a therapist and be back on my meds just to help me deal with it. Their response, if the cure is us leaving, then we'll leave soon. That's 4 months ago. Yesterday, I asked since the promise date was the 8th. I admit I got heated because I was tired of not having space or privacy. My PC's in the common room. Everything I say, they hear, and they love to listen to every single word. It's why I like to stream late at night, but even then, she'll stay up to 3 or 4 just to eavesdrop and sit at the open kitchen. I've had relationships destroyed because of them listening to every say. I couldn't be intimate. I assumed they meant imitate, but I assume they meant intimate, close, or let my guard down to anyone because they would just be there listening. I've had only a small window of privacy when they decide to go up, but that'd be 2 hours in the morning twice a week. Many of the relationships I've tried to build just gave up because they were tired of dealing with me. When I got in a heated argument, my dad threatened to kick me out. Since the apartment was mostly paid by then, he can kick me out whenever he wants. Most of my money's been used for their car, and I can't even afford to temporarily live alone now. They said I was crazy for wanting to seek help, how my reasoning for lack of privacy was stupid,
Very
and that my
Canada.
concerns...
Very Chinese, yeah.
Yep, that my concerns and unstable mental health isn't a justification to get a therapist. I don't know what else is then, but anyway, there's many stories I could tell of how messed up things they do, and how my mom likes to hit my dog because it's fun, or I'm not allowed to see doctors despite feeling lightheaded and my heart pains, and I don't go outside and spend too much on my PC, so there's no reason for me to see a professional. In the end, the only thing that's keeping me going is streaming. It's depressing, but the only thing that's making me happy. I appreciate the support I've been getting because the chat helps me forget. I haven't been able to talk to anyone since the relationship ended, and I do try to people. They get tired of me after a month. Because of that, hanging out with my chat
because she has to unload on people, so they got tired of it. Yeah, I understand.
After hanging out with my chat is the most social interaction I get these days, and it's crazy to think that many of you like to hear me talk about stupid things that go around my head. With how things have been going, I might even be able to cut them off one day in the future and go no contact, even though my plans got set back and I start having to saving from $0. It's wishful thinking, but if I'm lucky, then someday I can be free. Thank you for reading this. I'm sorry if it made people uncomfortable. I know my mom's reading this, and I still mean every word of it. You've always stalked my social media accounts and go out of your way to find every personal social media account I've made, despite my best efforts in changing usernames and confronting you in the past. I can't change my handles anymore because of the community I've built. But I know you read everything I post if you've always had in the past. I've never had any semblance of privacy growing up, and even to this day as an adult in my 20s, I'm going to cut you both out of my life and go no contact first chance I can. Okay. Yep. So, yes, this seems to point to some terrible parents, but that's in 2021. That's in 2020.
Not only that, before... she's asking her parents to leave during 2020. We all remember what happened during 2020. A, can't leave Canada.
Yes.
Canada's fucking locked down. B,
even if you could,
leave back
Canada.
To Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Hong Kong's fucking locked down to all hell and back. I don't blame the parents for not wanting to go back. Hong Kong is currently fucking crashing as a total economy because the Chinese government's fucking sucking everything they can out of it, trying to balance their fucking yuan. So, do I blame the parents for not wanting to go back? No, because I want you to go back to Ethiopia where you live in a mud hut all day. I don't really want to do that anymore.
Now, everything they did is horrible and terrible and shitty.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't blame them for not wanting to go back to abject poverty and getting all of their stuff seized and...
Well, okay. Yeah, you have... fuck.
Actually, I don't blame them for their desires. I do blame them for their actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to the second to last thing. To make it clear, I don't believe that they're lying about the suicide attempt, nor about it being the darkest point in their life after their termination, but I would argue that people hone in on the fact alone and refuse to listen to any of the statements made by other party and even Selin. Edit. This section previously covered to past mentions of mental health diagnosis. I chose to remove it. The information was included not to demonize her, incite hate against her, or minimize the pain, but to suggest how both sides can coexist without one being wrong or lying.
You literally started with, guys, she tried to commit suicide.
While I believe this may offer important context to understanding situations and behaviors, this is a more speculative argument compared to the rest of the document. Oh boy, that's saying something. And relies about assumptions on the current mental health based on statements from 3 to 4 years ago, which may no longer hold true. Holy fuck, you idiot. I do not wish to invite further bad interpretations on this topic. Let me reiterate, I'm not claiming the allegations are false. Reducing her to her diagnosis, there's no confirmation that she has if any of these traits because of it, or even using it as a scapegoat. Obviously, a simplistic list of symptoms cannot encapsulate her lived experiences or explain away the hardships. I don't mean this maliciously. I don't believe they're a bad person, but people constantly state her attempt as concrete evidence of active bullying from with the company, and this is a suggestion that may not be the case.
Interesting.
Okay, so here's the thing. Again, this comes to the whole translation thing I was talking about earlier. I might tell Nose that he's a cum-sucking shit dumpster, and he should never play Rubik again because he's a dog shit mid at it.
I don't even play Rubik mid, you cunt.
I know. My point being is that I can say these words to Nose, and I am fairly certain that he's not going to quit the channel, go home, and shoot himself.
This is a reasonable expectation.
This is why I'm like this to him, because I know he won't do that. To people that I go, ooh, they might not take what I say quite the way I want to deliver it. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not an expert at diagnosing this.
No, you are not.
I am proficient.
No.
I am mostly capable of understanding when not to say certain words to some people. However, just because I say, fuck you and the horse you rode in on, and I think what that means to that person is you're an asshole. They might have schizophrenia and bipolar, and maybe today their mom just killed themselves, and so they're really in the fucking shitter. And I say to them, fuck you and the horse you rode in on, and they go, bang. It's just how it is. So she needs to marry an American who will tell him to fuck off. Unfortunately, I'm Canadian. Well, just marry her and then move to America. It's a win-win. But you know,
you're Canadian. I'm sorry for your disability.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Please do not look for Canadian healthcare.
Anyway, point being though is like, just because something you said to someone you don't think is bad, they can interpret it in an entirely different manner. That's why intent is very important when you have verbal accusations in the court of law due to actions. If someone is chanting every day, won't someone kill this priest? Won't someone kill this priest? And then someone finally kills the priest, the court and everyone around them can go, he wanted this priest to die.
More importantly, he's probably had something to do with this.
Right. And if he stood outside the church every day and said, may Allah be with you, do not fall for the lies of Christianity, and then the priest dies,
that's not reasonable.
That's not his fault. No one can say, oh, he caused the priest to die because he gave the priest hardships. But, you know, if the priest comes out with fucking messages after being rescued and he almost committed suicide, and he comes out with fucking pictures and a videotape of the guy breaking into his house and painting in blood, I will crucify you like we did to Christ, you know,
reasonable cause.
You know, changes things a little bit again. You know, if he's just saying publicly, you know, don't fall for the lies of Christianity, but then privately is sending him completely ridiculous, out of proportion messages of constant flow, well, you know, again, that's again a little bit different. Maybe he doesn't break into the house. Maybe he just sits there outside the priest's house every day watching him leave and his family leave, and the priest has a heart attack. You know, that's a little bit weird. He's stalking him. We have a word for that. And you can be held liable for things that occur to someone you are stalking. Because it turns out that stress is in fact something you can cause someone maliciously.
You can even cause someone to die from it.
Say it ain't so.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
Fuck this person.
Yeah, fuck this person.
Nijisanji EN can suffer from incompetence in their management and PR, and livers can wish to stay in the company, strive for improvement, and rally for a better 2024. Selling can have suffered intense mental stress leading up to the termination, but this does not immediately implicate her coworkers as malicious bullies who deserve eternal punishment. There is likely no black and white here. Both statements from any color and Selin may hold weight. If you read until now, thank you. You may disagree with what I've written entirely. It's not feasible for me to cover the expansive evidence, speculation, and hatred.
Thank you for reading my fan fiction.
But I ask you to try and have a critical view of the situation. Apply logic and reason. Don't just fall into the herd mentality as multiple livers have recently stated. Think about whether it's right to trust crackpot VT narratives, which claims certain livers are managers running the company who pick and choose opportunities. Think about whether you have actually watched the livers, whether you watched them, and what discussions have been allowed to happen to the community when it's not under the spotlight of thousands of drama vultures. Do these people care about them? Do they care about Selin? Do they care about the truth, or do they just care about being right and silencing anyone who disagrees by weaponizing someone else's mental illness as a shield against criticism and valid concerns? The world has listened to every word Selin has to say, but refused to take a single statement made by Nijisanji EN, not the company, but the 32 livers under the branch at face value. Do you really think all of these people are being held hostage by a mean and evil company, silenced from showing support for someone who was their friend for 2.5 years if there was a reason for them not to? At the very least, everyone involved has requested an end to the harassment. Please listen.
So I will say right here, you're not taking everything Nijisanji says at face value. Actually, we are. That's part of the problem.
Even if we weren't,
Nijisanji at face value is destroying themselves.
Yeah. Nijisanji at face value is we broke the law, but we investigated ourselves and found ourselves not culpable.
By the way, I just want to point out they end with one of the last and most infuriating logical fallacies, which is the gray fallacy. For those of you who don't know, this is a logical fallacy that says Person A has said the sky is white. Person B has said the sky is black. Since we cannot know whether the sky is black or white, therefore we must assume the sky is gray.
That's wrong.
That's the gray fallacy. I thought you were talking about the gray at this server, and it's if your body can destroy itself, it will.
No, that's just an unfortunate
fact of life.
Reality.
That's a rule of nature. But the gray fallacy. Yeah, basically, so. What the thing here is that Selin comes out and says Nijisanji had mismanagement. Nijisanji comes out and says the livers didn't bully you, Selin. Hold up.
Ah, yes.
Meanwhile, all the town is just screaming, "What the fuck happened?"
Record scratch.
To use the gray fallacy here, Selin says the sky is white. Nijisanji says they didn't shit in the well. The sky must be gray.
Well, no. To make it more clear here, to make it a possibly a more clear example, Selin comes out and says Nijisanji shit the bed. Nijisanji comes out and says no, Selin shit the bed. Then someone says, obviously, what this therefore means is that both of them shit the bed.
I mean, that could be true.
But that's what they're trying to say. So that's what this author is trying to say. But in reality, and we're gonna step out of the fan fiction realm and go to reality now. In reality, Selin said the sky was white, and Nijisanji came out and said, "No, I only shit in the well once."
Yeah.
Like, hold on a minute.
Once.
Right, but Sign, what you just said, but they could both be true, right? But that's the problem with the gray fallacy, and that's the thing that people do all the time, where person A says that this happened, person B says that this happened, and then everybody says, well, it's probably somewhere in the middle. And that can be true, right? The reason it's a logical fallacy is because it can be true.
Yes.
But someone making an argument like this person is where they're saying that, well, Selin said X and Nijisanji said Y. I think you need to look at this logically and consider that, maybe some of the things Nijisanji are saying are true.
Also, not only that, so not only that, the gray fallacy they are invoking here also implies that Nijisanji is lying.
Yes.
Yeah.
which is just, again, it's just like, you're a Niji Sanji hater, and your competition is a Niji Sanji lover.
No, you're a Niji Sanji hater, and your competition is Niji Sanji itself.
It's just like...
Impossible challenge.
How do I beat them? They beat themselves too hard!
It's like the picture I posted earlier. The stupid fucker competition. Your opponent is Niji Sanji.
Yes, it's just...
I'll post it again because it's just so funny.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, exactly. It's just like, how do I beat someone that is already actively shoving like a gun up to their dick? It's like, what can I even say at this point that they aren't already doing?
Just sit back and wait.
So yeah, it's a gray fallacy, but the problem here is that we actually have the legal statements from both Selen and from Niji Sanji, and the legal statements are that Selen was harassed by people inside of Niji Sanji, and the legal statement from Niji Sanji is that Selen was harassed by livers, but no, actually she wasn't, guys, don't believe her. The middle ground on that point would be she was harassed by livers.
Yeah.
So, no matter how you construct the gray fallacy, according to reality, Niji Sanji comes out terrible, and Selen comes out as...
Okay.
I mean, existing.
Anyway,
yeah.
It is an
it's
hour
10.
past the time for the stream to end. I'm getting dinner.
I'm fine with this. You know what? We covered the greatest of fan fictions today, gentlemen. The real life fan fiction that is taking over reality.
Niji's narrative.
Yeah. It is taking over reality. We have spent too long in the fan fiction realm, and we've failed at containment protocols, and now it has spilled forth into reality, and people are trying to once again will their ideas into existence whole cloth. But
so it's Keck over again.
yes, but it's like, as I always say, come back on Tuesday, because there is always more